Hey, everybody. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Let me say hello to the folks in the chat. Get some folks in right now. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let's say good morning. Good morning, Kim. Unpopular opinion. Tristy, Stephanie, Empress, Kay, Dark Child. No, Talk Glass. Shout out to Talk Glass. Talk Glass is the one that alerted us to this information, this breaking news. Shout out to Talk Glass. You be on it. Unpopular opinion. Hello, Annabelle, Melanie, Rick is in the house. Hey, Miss Kayla. Hello, Brooklyn T. Hello, Nina Williams, Kiki, Kira, Kyrie. No eggs, green eggs, no ham. I said no eggs. Hey, Life with Laura. Hey, Nakenya. Hey, 313. Hey, Nona, Dr. TTH. Hello, Monica, Robin, Perspective, Gia, Kenzie, Gwendolyn, GSG, Eban. Oh, okay. Oh, why you name your name? That name? Oh my God, I don't want to say that because then you're gonna start some fights with me. Hey, Danny. Hey, Bless. Hey, Nikki. Hey, Havana, baby. Hello, Becky. Hello, Jennifer. Keys, Tyler. Naughty Land, Jimmy, from shy to stunning. Oh, hey, lady, Chameleon. Hello, Antonio. Hey, Danny again. Hey, new me with couch tea. Hello, Miss Richards. Hello, Kimberly Griswold. Hey, Tanya. Hey, Weezy. Hey, Gigi. Hey, V. Hey, Creative Experience. Hey, Kay again. Hey, I'm the Queen. Nona, Keys, Brandy, Pat, Chosen One, Diamond. Yeah, I'm getting tired. I'm tongue-tied right now. Hold on a second. Hold on. Getting tongue-tied. Amanda, Maya, Lucy. Whoo, y'all, it's a whole bunch of y'all up in here. Drea, George D. Log. Okay, I'm messing up your names now. Now it's time for me. Gangster Diva. Okay, Zakia. Oh, like, okay, not. Oh my God. It's a whole bunch of y'all in here. Hello, 372 people up in the chat. I know y'all running up in here to find out what the heck is going on. What the heck is going on? Okay, we got folks that's on Twitter that's putting out the information. I didn't even get a chance to pull it, but I do have the paperwork here. All right. Okay, hold on a second. All right. Hello, everybody. We just got breaking news, y'all. We got breaking news that the judge has recused herself, right? And I am going to open up the paperwork for you guys to see the recusal order right here. All right, y'all ready? All right, let me put it up on the screen for you guys. Put it up on the screen for you guys. Here we go. Y'all ready? You guys ready? All right, you guys, y'all see what I got in front of me? Let me move out the way. Let me move my butt out the way, make it bigger. Bigger. All right, let's go. Okay, let me close this out. Okay, here we go. Make it bigger. Oops, made it too big, right? Make this wider. How about that? How about that? Is that better? Is that better for you guys? Okay. Order of recusal. Okay, Christopher Eppinger. So I guess this have to do with Christopher Eppinger. Okay, on or about June 1st, 2023, Christian Eppinger, one of the 18 defendants, was severed from the ongoing YSL RICO trial on the criminal action that was recently transferred to this court by random assignment. Although there is no severance order in the record, the court was apprised of the circumstance that directly led to Eppinger's severance. More specifically, the deputy assigned to and responsible for the courtroom and personal security of the undersigned for nearly 6 months was arrested. You know who that was, y'all? Remember the lady that was having a relationship with Eppinger? Remember her? That deputy was working in her courtroom. Oh, okay. Y'all ready? Let's continue. Okay. Let me stop back. More specifically, the deputy assigned to and responsible for the courtroom and personal security of the undersigned for nearly 6 months was arrested. Said deputy, who was still assigned to this court at the time of her arrest, is accused of 1. Colluding with defendant Eppinger during the current trial to commit a felony, and 2. Engaging the safety of citizens within the Fulton County Courthouse. Because this court's former assigned deputy could be called as a witness in any future proceeding in this case, the court may be called upon assess this deputy's credibility or rule on matters related to her criminal prosecution. This may undermine the public's confidence in the impartiality. Okay, I can't say the word of the proceeding. I could say the word, but I just got it like it's in my head and I can't get it right. Impartiality, whatever. Proceeding. While the court does not regard an aforementioned situation as creating any actual bias for or against any party in this case, the court does view this as a matter that could cause a reasonable person to question the court's impartiality and reasonably give rise to the appearance. Hold on, I gotta go down. Of impartiality. I can't say these words today. Should the court remain on this case? Rule 211 of the Georgia Code of Judicial Conduct, CJC, provide that the judge shall disqualify themselves in any proceeding in which their impartiality might reasonably be questioned. Commentary 2 of the rule to that rule provide that the judge should disclose on the record or in open court information that the court believes the parties or their lawyer might consider relevant to the question of disqualification, even if they believe there is no legal basis for disqualification. Thus, after carefully consideration and consistent with the CJC Rule 1.2a, promoting public confidence in the independence and impartiality of the judicial, and CJC Rule 2.111a, requiring disqualification when the public might reasonably question a judge's impartiality, the undersigned hereby recuse herself from this criminal action. The clerk of court is directed to reassign this criminal action to another judge. So ordered the 17th day of July. Shakura L. Ingram. She ain't no joke, y'all. She ain't no joke. That's a smart cookie right there. Y'all see that? Smart cookie right there. Smart, 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 smart. Anybody want to come in and comment on this? She is not playing with y'all. She said, I'm not going to be caught in this mess. Recusal means to remove themselves from the case. Yeah, Chance, I know. Trust me. Chance, this morning I can't even say the word. And I know how to say I can't even say it right now. Impartiality. Oh my God, I'm getting tongue-tied. Something's wrong with my brain this morning. My brain is being tricked. I know how to say the word and I could not even read the word. Can you get this? Can y'all get that? I couldn't even say the word. She removed herself. That's what recusal means, removing herself. How many judges? There's quite a few judges here. All that tea? That's what happened. All that tea that I drank this morning. All right. Hey, JL. Hey, JL. Good morning.
Good morning, my dear. How are you?
I am doing great. Hey, Impress. Good morning.
Rising,
This
everybody.
is great news.
Sorry, Impress. I'm supposed to say Grand Rising. I'm messing up.
It's okay. It takes time.
Okay. All right. JL. Come on, lady. Give me some of that info.
You know, I knew it was coming. I said it. I said it on our other live. I did not believe she was going to stay on this case. From just looking at her back record, she seems she's very on par. If you look at her statistics, they're very good. And she didn't want this mess. This is a mess. I mean, she has seen different defendants, as she stated, in particular with this, and not want to get involved in it. That's the smartest thing she could have did. I hoped to see an order to transfer out of the county, though. I did hope to see that because there is too much conflict within Fulton.
Do you know if they do remove it, that means Fulton will no longer be on it.
Correct.
That means that the DAs from Fulton will not be on it. That's what it means.
Correct. But weighing in how DA Love and DA Hilton has conducted this to where it's at right now, the rightful thing, even if you file for mistrial, though, Ms. Sylvia, at some point it's got to be addressed through another motion, their actions, because if the actions were steep enough to have the judge removed, then they should be steep enough to have the DAs removed.
Amen.
They should not be fit to oversee the case, and that should have been put into order when Love had falsified information 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. So looking at it as a whole, Miss Sylvia, Fulton is not equipped to handle this case. They have demolished this case. They have tarnished this case. They have coerced this case. And there's no real evidence to this case. So send it to another county and allow them to dismiss and be done. Okay. Because at some point, Fonnie has to step up and do damage control.
She can't do damage control if she's the one.
Hold on. We got to go to Empress. Empress, that was you talking?
It was.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. I couldn't tell who's talking. Go ahead, Empress.
Oh, no, it's okay. She can't do damage control, JL, because she is the problem behind the entire case. As been stated since the beginning of this trial, everyone has mentioned, besides her, besides the DA, and I don't think even the defense has mentioned her interactions with one of the YSL members and how she was formerly, I think, on their defense team, if I'm not mistaken.
She was an attorney for Mondo.
Is that not a conflict of interest?
Definitely is.
So that's the root. We can say all the stuff they've done in the last year or two, but that's the root of the issue is funny. So therefore, this case in general needs to be dismissed just off that premise alone. And if they want to retry it, whatever they can, obviously it's expensive and they're not going to do that. But as we can see, judge by judge, information by information, the entire Fulton County is compromised when it comes to YSL. And I put it in the chat earlier, and I'll just say it again. They're compromised because they have personally dealt with almost every member of YSL in some capacity prior to this case. And I feel that Fonnie has a vendetta out, and she's not going to stop until she gets whatever it is that she wants, which is, according to and allegedly based upon what's been said, is that she told Nut's mother that she would get justice. So this, as we've seen over the time, that this has equivocally evolved around Nut and his murder, and that is her reason for pushing this case the way she's pushing it. And I think that the judge recusing herself this morning says a lot, even though it's based upon the deputy. That's a lot, because you're standing in a courtroom and you're supposed to be guarding the court, but your interest is with one of the defendants. That's a problem.
I get that aspect.
Hold on, JL. We got to go to Patrick. And then we got to go to Danielle. Go ahead, Patrick.
I was gonna say this. Glad you brought that up. Glad she said something. I just seen some. I don't know if it's Thug Dad or I don't know who it was, but they were saying. You remember when they said YSL tried to kill Nut? I don't know if you remember that story. It's been a minute, but I was hearing that, and this is what I'm thinking is gonna happen if they dismiss the case. Because, like she just said, she said something about what somebody had an affair with one of the YSL members. I was thinking about that the other day. This what hit me though. They gonna let Thug out just because it's bias in Fulton County. If you think about it, look at it from this point. They've been doing this since day one, since I've been watching it. And I feel like when you interviewed his father, I went back and watched it. His father got a good point. They treat him so bad to where, how can I word it? I don't want to sound out of context, but I'm trying to say Thug father is very intelligent. And he got a point. His son shouldn't be mistreated. That's what I think. Even the whole YSL getting mistreated. What y'all think about that though? I just want to hear what y'all think. I just have to bring that up.
Okay. Thank you, Patrick. Go ahead, Danielle.
I just want to know.
I wanted to pick. I wanted to piggyback. Good morning, Auntie. I wanted to piggyback off of Empress. What she said. Miss Willis was an attorney for Mondo. That it's allegations that she dated either Mondo or Nut. So she's too invested. She's too involved. But now this particular judge, this sister is saying, whoa. I want no parts of it. So I truly believe every judge that goes around the circle or however they pick them, they're going to recruit themselves. It's too much. The whole entire case is tainted, and they know what was done is illegal. They're wanting no parts of it. So no one knew about whatever happened prior with this judge and someone. Every judge is going to say, no. Too much has went on. Too much. It's just too much. And funny, she needs to do damage control, but because she's actually the one that did the damage, it's almost like throwing your rock and hide your hand type deal. So yes, I agree with Empress 100%. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay. And now, guys, you guys know that Jeffrey's family, Jeffrey Williams' family, they have so many family members that have been convicted or have cases in Fulton County. Remember his current brother, Gregory? He right now has a case that's pending, and he's the one that's deaf and mute. They have that case going on. And Umfung had his bond revoked because somebody there was a gun in the car that that his girlfriend switched cars, and the girlfriend had a gun in her car, and they stopped them at the gas station. That case.
Was it a nephew too? A nephew too,
And
Auntie?
the nephew, yeah, I was about to say the nephew's case as well. I was just going by phone. And then the nephew, his case, he was just sentenced to life in prison because him and his girlfriend got into it, and she hit him in the head with a bottle. Then because they didn't allow him to bring his medical condition because he's autistic. He has learning disability. So the judge that was the judge that was originally on the case did a ruling saying that they could not bring his medical condition in, and then that judge removed himself, and they had a judge from the outside to do the actual trial, and that judge could not overturn or change the ruling that the judge previously that had done. So he was convicted, and they tried to get him for no parole, no type of to be able to get out, but the judge gave him where he has a possibility for him to be able to parole out. But then they're gonna do a appeal on his case because they never allowed him to bring his medical condition. The girlfriend hit him in the head with a bottle. They got into it, so he takes the gun and he shoots him. I'm not saying that is right what she did, but
And
all the calls.
yes.
Hold on. All the calls that was being done, all the 911 calls was of him being abused by the young lady, right? And so he was, I don't want to say slow, but his ability to understand that he was in a toxic relationship was not there. So that's all I wanted to say. Go ahead on JL. You were saying something. Go ahead.
No, that was I believe Danielle that weighed in on that one.
No, I was just agreeing with you, Auntie. That's it.
Oh, okay. No, JL, you was about to say something before I call Patrick.
Oh, yeah, I was actually piggybacking with Empress on just the meaning of damage control. And what I meant by that is at some point as a professional, right? Even though we have not seen professionalism, we have not seen candor, we have not seen all of these things within that courtroom and within the DA's office. I'm saying from a professional standpoint, you're already in the media for Trump's case. You're already in the media for YSL case, right? And all of these big things are happening over this week, really, Miss Sylvia, because look at the ruling that just came in this week on the Trump case.
Yeah, they have the hearing in December 5th.
Exactly. And they did ultimately rule in favor of defense. So there's a lot of big things that they're weighing in on that case. You would think when I say damage control, they would be like, you know what? This YSL case needs to be cleaned up immediately. It came in tainted. And it has remained that way, but only gotten worse and severed on day one.
I agree.
It was severed at opening statements, to be exactly honest. Just the whole way that the system has worked, and you watch every single motion that has come through, I banked that this judge was going to recuse, because you can't honestly have a duty to the court and to the people to serve justice. And every single defendant has been heard about by all those judges. And with the cases being severed and broken off, you don't know what other judges that they have been before, or what conversations have had in the chambers about this case. They all report to him. Every single last one of them report to him. So I think that right now that Supreme needs to weigh in. It's time for Supreme to weigh in and serve the true justice and to clean this up. The cleanup is not coming from Fulton. And if anybody is depending on Fulton for a cleanup, it is running deep. Not only did we see it through the judge, through the prosecutors, well, I'll say the chief judge, the chief prosecutor, but look at the witnesses that were supposed to be of professional behavior or title, how they acted on the stand. They have been caught in lies and nothing has happened.
Okay, now for those who are coming in, okay, I just recently read the recusal of Judge Ingram, and the reasons that she is removing herself from this case is because the deputy that was assigned to her courtroom was the deputy that was arrested for the Christopher Eppinger's situation where they were talking to each other on the computer, and that she was charged with 2 felony counts for her interaction with Christopher Eppinger. So since she was a deputy assigned to that particular judge courtroom, the judge is going to might be called as a witness on that person's character, the things about that particular deputy. So she felt that she needed to remove herself from this case because that case, Eppinger was part of the YSL case. So therefore, it's a conflict, and she decided to remove herself. That's the short term of what happened. So she is using her ability to remove herself so it doesn't look like something is going on. Okay, so that's what we're discussing right now.
Miss Sylvia, I have a question. Somebody in the comment section named Lady Chameleon, she asked the question that I was going to speak about previously because I was inquiring. Why is there so much focus on the Jeffrey Williams family? Because that seems to be the big, we were talking about his nephew, his like just his whole family. It's like, what is the real reason behind that outside of finding? Because it just seems like a real big vendetta. And so for me, looking at this, I really want to question why beyond the ex parte meeting is this case even going, because that should have been dismissed. Because everyone that can read and comprehend, we all read that motion, right, that Judge Glanville put in. We all read the transcript, and for them to even say that the meeting was proper, from the meeting alone or transcripts alone, we saw that Glanville was vouching for the prosecution. So that alone, just in a transcript, somebody else maybe should have oversaw that, because the judge that came in and said, oh, well, yeah, we'll dismiss this, but those 2 motions, Glanville was right about. How in any 50 states in these United States, if you read that transcript, did you think that the judge was not biased towards the prosecution?
Okay, from my conversation with the family and with different people, there's something personal going on regarding with Fanny and the family. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know the logistics, because you remember Big Jeff, when he got on my channel, he said that he was the one that used to pay her when she was representing Mondo.
Wow.
They were paying her. The paycheck came from Jeffrey Williams' company. So they were the ones. I mean,
so are they trying to just bleed him of all his money so that he can then go back to doing whatever? Like, this just doesn't make sense to me, because that seems to be the case. Because you have to pay. Look, he's still has always been his lawyer, right? But for the past 2 years, these court fees are adding up, and they're bleeding him dry of his money. And I really think that that's the bigger issue, because they feel like without his money, then YSL can cease. But I don't think that that's the actual case.
And then the other thing I found out was that a lot of, remember, they seized his property before anything really happened. They were seizing things like the jewelry, the cars, and all this stuff they were seizing, and they did not have that okay to do that.
So in the end, can he sue them? Can he sue the Fulton County district? Is he able to do that once this is all said and done?
I really don't know, because I don't know the legal side of all of this. I don't know.
it just seems that they did a lot of improper and illegal things to even bring this
Someone
case
was
to a RICO
helping
trial. You see what I'm saying? Like, to
with
even get
the
the RICO, it seems like they bent a lot of corners to get to this point, which to me is the impropriety of it all. That this case shouldn't have even been a RICO in the first place.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's really crazy. And it's personal. It's personal. That's what I keep hearing, that people were saying it's personal. Throughout the courtroom, I kept hearing that it's personal, because even when they were doing like the different cases in the family, that, like, okay, I'm gonna give you an example what happened, y'all. The prosecutor that was handling the brother's case, the Gregory's case, that prosecutor went on maternity leave, right? And they brought somebody else in. That other person that came in went to the judge and asked the judge for no bond. Okay, remember, he was on bond, but because he missed his I think calling in. Remember, he's deaf, so he missed his calling in because he was living with somebody and they didn't give him the mail, and so he never called in during his time of being on probation, right? So they revoked his bond and they put him back in jail. So the prosecutor that was in charge of, after the other one went on maternity leave, requested that no bond be given to him, right? So when the original prosecutor came back from her maternity leave to take a position, she requested a bond from Fonnie Willis, and Fonnie gave the okay for the judge to give the bond. The judge, and I was sitting in the courtroom now, the judge said no bond because that I'm going to stick to what the other prosecutor said. But then she said, Your Honor, that was my case, and I got the approval from Fonnie for him to get a bond. She said, this is what the judge says. The judge says, in order for me to change this to a bond, Fonnie has to come to the courtroom right now. Do you hear that? Hold on a second. Hold on. I got a call coming in. Hold on.
That is absolute facts, Miss Sylvia. I was watching. The judge said that in order for me to do it, Fonnie has to come in the courtroom and tell me. That's true. It's just no control in Fulton County at this point. The judge do what they want to do. The district attorneys do what they want to do. It's just everybody's out of control.
It's to the point now that Department of Justice needs to be weighing in and really focusing on the true criminals here. And the true criminals are coming from the ones that are suited and walking in the courtroom to serve the justice. So this is a reversed role situation, and I think that's why America is weighed in so heavy, because of it's a travesty at the end of the day, at the end of every day. There is no cleanup. So when I mean for the damage control, it is at some point you need to clean this one up because it's getting deeper and deeper by the day, and you have that other one still open and pending. She's still seeing victory in light, but she's lost both trials, the entirety, and showed that both trials are tainted. And even the defendants that have been severed, they're tainted. They sent the biggest message by every single one rejecting the plea deals. But look at what the plea deals were. They were basically all life sentences.
You're absolutely right.
And then I think
that was Thug's mom. Sorry, I'm back. I'm back. Go ahead.
we were just chatting, Sylvia, just talking about how far it's tainted, how deep this actually goes. And, the actions of, the DA. Absolutely. It's way past out of control. There's so many different dynamics to this trial and to the other trial of the severed defendants. There is so many aspects to the case, and every single corner you turn, it's something else is unraveling to show that it is definitely corruption. And when I say the Department of Justice to weigh in, they do. And the commission's office. These are your judges that are up here. And this is a chief judge. And this is a chief DA and a lead-in DA. So what do you do with that? And especially when there's been proven ties on the outside of that courtroom in the street. So how do you rely on those same ones to prosecute you? I'm with it if my company, as YSL, the label, is paying anything for any fees, and then you turn around and then go against, that's an automatic conflict that they shouldn't have even tried it. But like I said, RICOs are weak. That RICOs come when they don't have the evidence to prove.
I have one question, and I don't know if this has been asked before, but with all of the interviews going on between Woody, all of the defense attorneys, just everybody's doing all these interviews as though the case is already wrapped up, complete, dismissed, or mistrialed. Does this cause some sort of conflict with the rest of the case? Like I said, the fact that it's not even complete yet. Steele is doing interviews. Woody's doing interviews.
Steele has not done an interview. Steele doesn't.
He was. I can send you the link.
Steele just did an interview?
It was the other day. It came across my YouTube, but because I have.
He just did a statement.
A statement, okay. But I'm more so trying to figure out with because there's a lot of the law channels right now, and I've been trying to keep up with everything. There's just a lot of interviews going on with people that are actively involved in the case. So I'm just trying to see, does that taint anything in any way?
Okay. Now, as far as the attorneys do an interview, from what I'm told from Adams, remember that was the question that somebody asked in the chat, and he said that because he's not speaking on the specific aspect of the case. He did general things that he never spoke anything specifically about what's going on in the case. If you can remember Adams, what he said.
Thank you guys for the fix on that. I must have, somebody said you said it was just an interview. I mean, just a statement. So okay, got it.
Yeah, Steele did not, because Steele sent me a message himself. Because when I asked Steele about doing an interview, he says, "Madam journalist, I would love to, but right now I can't. I'm focusing on taking care of Jeffrey's motions and things like that. So he's not going to do anything until it's complete." So I knew that for a fact. So when you said he did an interview, I was like, I don't think so. Because he said he's concentrating, he's getting a lot of motions out and things like that.
His last one, Miss Sylvia, was what, 300 and something pages? Steele's last motion was like a few hundred pages. I was trying to get through it. My eyes were going crooked.
Yeah, it was about 241, I think, pages.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff that's from previous motions and things like that. And the transcript, he added one.
I can understand, though, why he would take that standpoint, because he's so focused and zeroed in And really none of the interviews, with Weinstein, Max, with Adams, all of them, I mean, they really are not talking about what's to come. You can tell that, they're just, trying to thank the media for, obviously stepping up and weighing in, because they said it does make a tremendous difference. But I think the stand that they have taken is all very well. I think the interviews are really great. The interview that came out last night, I was asking you on the other channel for our health. Did you see the Donza interview?
I saw some of it. I didn't see all of it, but what I have heard, it was pretty. It's kind of gonna mess him up if he gets on the stand.
You think so?
Did you hear some of the stuff that was said?
I watched it in entirety last night, just so that way I can talk to you today.
I didn't see the whole thing. That's why I need to hurry up and watch the whole thing. But what I've heard,
I would have to just, I don't mean to go against the grain, but I disagree. I think that it was very well controlled. You've seen a different side of him, and the way that he worded it, he didn't go into any specifics in the trial, but the way he.
But here's why I said, because for example, one of the things that he was being asked for when he did the I plead the fifth was when she asked about his age and his birthday and all that. He mentioned his date of birth. He mentioned certain things that when he was on the stand, it was like he didn't know, I don't recall type of thing. So that's what I was saying. Those things.
Yeah, the part with the age and the birthday, but I linked that more so through trauma. And that was his response, because he was already irritated with what was going on. He knew he was being railroaded in a way. But when he said that, the thing that caught me is him and his mother, their birthdays are 3 days apart. And the way that he spoke of his mother and losing his mother, I literally had tears in my eyes listening to the pain that he had went through so many years on top of years on top of years.
Yeah,
so
things that he was mentioning that when he was on the stand, that is going to cause some friction because they're going to bring it back. But you said this on this interview, they're going to bring that interview up.
Hey, Miss Sylvia.
How does it work, Miss Sylvia? Can the DA's office at any time come in and say these interviews are tampering with their witness?
I don't know if it's tampering, but it is. They could use it against him because anything he says will be used against him, and they're going to bring it to.
That's all I was saying was the tampering. Like it just seems like it's bigger than just the interview because it's so much going on. It's just a lot.
Hey, Miss Sylvia, I saw the interview with him yesterday for the 2 hours, and by him being a witness to the case, regardless, they was already setting up for impeachment. The documents had been signed for the immunity. He had already, they really need to throw out Woody's whole testimony, but if they throw out Woody's whole testimony, they're not going to have a case. And like the young lady said, so many fossils to this. How did we get here? Who are the main leaders? And it starts with Funny. That's there. I don't think, no, because when you look at Ingram's background with that AI chart that I guess is out, he had went to a law ethical class. He sits on a lot of community boards far as being ethical. All this is ethical, and Funny is the lead name ringer, in this whole domino effect. And it all has different fossils to get us here. That's why, even if they moved it to another jurisdiction, there are so many legal ethics that no one wants their name on it. It is already tainted. It's toxic. And how can they, like you was reading the letter the statement, all the money that they had put into this case, all the time that the state had put, there was never no evidence. They were creating a case as they continued to go on. How do you stop where do they stop the water from flowing? That's where they're at now. None of this. Jeffrey, the guys who took all that, this was personal. And if you go back and listen to all the relationships that they had before they even brought Jeffrey down, it started with, like she was saying, the guard dating the other lady, finally having a relationship with it. All this stuff is coming out. This is where she was building a case in her mind. This is a power play. And yes, a lot of people have been affected. Now, people ethically, the judge, justice is blind, first of all. But how can they move past this? It ain't got nothing to do with Jeffrey, ain't got nothing to do with none of them. Because they did a lot of corruption. That's why those boys did not take those pleas. They were offering them life for something that they didn't do. Then they're guilty for certain things, but for the 56 charges on there for this particular case, no. But they were building their case. There's so many fossils. No judge is going to pick this up, regardless if it was the testimony from the 36 people who were charged, whether it's from the people who testified in the state's defense, even if it was for the documents that was proven that they had these. This is the only meeting we know. Somebody was talking about the body language of the judge. All that's changed. The jury's changed everything. So they looking at the loss. How are we going to cut this loss? Miss Sylvia, you are phenomenal. Bringing the information, following the case, reading between the lines, understanding both sides. I see, and I'm a spiritual person, God knew who to use to handle this situation. Who he uses all of us for different reasons. And this is sometimes what we have to go through to get to ending something. Elections coming up. If this don't motivate people to get people out, Glanville, the judge done messed up his back ass. Y'all know how I am with my vocabulary. But yeah, it went from politics to resentment to corruption to now who has the humility? Who has the humility to do the right thing and say that we messed up? They're not going to admit they messed up. That's why they judge recused herself when she had Judge Glanville removed. She trying to save his faith. Now Ingram finna save her faith because they name matter. They names matter. They don't care about these people at the end of the day. They know all the attorneys all over the world have talked about this case. There's no judge. And then, like I said, all this is spiritual. And we all be tested in a storm. We've all experienced being used to get a lesson out. And I just admire the fact that Thug, out of all the men that they were hanging out with, had a father who believed in them. They preyed on their ignorance. They preyed on them on intelligence, And yes, as you can see, Woody probably was one of the ones that they could bait the most, but they undermined his intelligence. He knows exactly what he's doing. If it wasn't for him going on that stand doing what he did, we wouldn't be here now. That's why I expect the Sharks. He said it yesterday. Maybe because when he was in that interrogation room and they didn't want to believe that he was telling them to get him out, that's on them. They took that information and twisted it for their advantage, and they still try to use it on the stand.
Because that's their case. That's what they built their case from, which is the problem.
But they never had a case. If they had a case, they would have brought it up during the open argument, whatever they call it.
No. If they had a case, it would have been handled in 2013 and 2015.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, let me hold on a second, ladies. I want to go ahead and tell people that's just coming in what's going on. Okay, I just read the judge motion to recuse herself from this case. Judge Ingram has asked for this case to be reassigned to another judge because of the following reason. The deputy that was arrested for Christopher Eppinger's situation, remember there was a deputy that was having some sort of relationship with Eppinger? Well, she was arrested and she has 2 felony counts against her. And the judge that was assigned, which is Judge Ingram, that deputy was assigned to her courtroom. She was there for 6 months in her courtroom. So therefore, there is going to be a hearing or trial on that particular deputy. When the trial comes about, the judge most likely will be called upon as a witness because she would be there to give more of the character of that individual. And so she did not feel for her to be able to partake as a judge in this YSL because she has close affiliation with the other case that's going to be against that deputy. So she has removed herself from the case altogether and wants it to be reassigned to another judge. So that's what you guys are coming in here for, because she has removed herself because of that deputy having a case against her because of the YSL case when she was communicating, having a relationship with Christopher Eppinger. That's
the second lawyer who has been locked up because the other lawyer just got locked up. What?
No, that wasn't a lawyer. She's not a lawyer. She was a deputy. She was one of the court officers. Do you know?
They got history. All of it's history, and that's why it's too much history and too many falsehoods. It's too many. It's so many layers to this reset.
Okay, I'm gonna have to have another set of people up because there's people wanting to come up.
Okay, can I just say one last name, Ms. Sylvia?
Go ahead, Impress.
I'm speaking on what Sarithia, excuse me if I messed your name up, but what she just said, when she said, "Oh, we need to get new people," the problem is, as everyone knows, there's no one that ran against Glanville. There's no one that ran against Fonnie. So exactly. If there's no one to actually run, who is there to actually vote against?
That was the problem. Thank you, Empress.
All right, Empress is down. Okay, I'm gonna bring another set of people up. Thank you, ladies, for your input. I'm gonna go ahead and
thank you, Miss Sylvia. Love you.
You love you too. Okay, you guys want to come up? The next set of folks. I'm only letting 3 up at a time. Anybody else want to come up and give your input on what we're talking about right now? We're talking about the judge being recused from the case. So now they're going to have to find another judge to take this case, get it reassigned to another judge. And here's the link. Those who wants to come up and give your input. What do you think? Do you agree with this? What do you think is the next stage? This is everyone's has a voice. Listen, I know folks are getting upset because I let people talk a long time, but listen, the motto of this channel is let your voice be heard. Okay, we're not lawyers. We're individual lay people who wants to give their opinion. Good morning, Gregory. How are you?
I'm all right, Miss Sylvia. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. What would you like to say?
Well, I mean, so just kind of following up on what the last panel was saying. I think eventually it's going to land with another judge. Now that judge may not be in Fulton County, right? So if it's going to keep going around the wheel, and if other people come up with other reasons that they need to recuse themselves, then they will, and eventually we're probably going to see some motions come in from some of these lawyers, as they have stated, as this kind of gets delayed. And with regards to the jury, it's going to be extremely hard for the jury that's already been impaneled now to continue with this case, because by the law it has to go back until I think it was June the 12th, which was before Woody even came on the stand. You can't unhear everything that was already said. That's going to be the hardest part of that. You can't tell them, hey, just forget everything Mr. Copeland said, because I mean, one, he's unforgettable, and then two, you learned a lot of stuff through his testimony, through watching some of those clips about him. So all of that evidence, you can't just unhear it, right? So I think what's going to end up happening, in my personal opinion, is I think we're going to end up seeing a mistrial. Now, whether or not it's going to be a mistrial with prejudice, well, that's going to be something to kind of keep an eye out for. But I definitely think we're going to end up with a mistrial here, and I don't think that the state would retry. I mean, I just don't believe that the state would retry. It's been this case has been highly publicized. I mean, there's so much information to people like you yourself, Miss Sylvia. It's so many people who are reporting on this case, so many lawyers. It's going to be hard to find a jury pool that's untainted, and then B, the state's going to have to. They can't present the exact same case again, right? Because this case just isn't working for them.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. You there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to be interesting. I mean, I just don't. It's an unfortunate situation for the defendants because during this whole time, they're still without bond, and now to no fault of their own, they're going to have to wait until motions get filed requesting for bond, and then you have to find the judge. First you have to find a judge that's going to be able to take up the motion, and then B, once they have a judge, and I think lawyers were preparing for Judge Ingram, and then now she's recused herself, right? So let's say it spins to another judge, later on today. Who knows what happens with that person, right? I mean, I think the best thing would be to get a change of venue, but again, there's no judge to hear that right now. I mean, I think that's the hardest part about it, that all of the proceedings are on hold until a judge actually gets assigned to the case to actually be able to take up motions.
Okay, you have Judge what's it, McAfee removed himself.
Yeah, Scott,
Edward,
yeah, right.
Judge Edward, who removed himself. You have Judge Glanville, who has been recused, and then you have Judge Ingram, who have removed himself. Somebody mentioned Judge Dempsey will be the one, but Judge Dempsey is a retired judge.
But I was gonna say he's in senior status, right?
Yeah, he's not even doing the YSL, the other one. He's just helping out right now. When I spoke with him, he said he's not going to be the judge of that case. And then you have Judge,
right.
I think Judge Cox would be perfect for it. You have Judge Adams, who I think would be great for this, but Judge Adams is dealing with the YSL for the Cop City, so she has a big case on her hand. Then you have some other judge. You have some magistrate judge. I don't know if they're going to allow the magistrate judge to come in because they want superior judge on this.
Yeah, I don't think that a magistrate judge could come in just by the rules. I'm pretty sure that a magistrate judge I don't know if a magistrate judge could preside over a superior court case. And that's why it's going to be interesting, because like you just listed those judges out. If you have one that does decide that they're going to take it, especially like if they're already embroiled in the middle of their own major trial, it's going to be hard to put that trial on hold to pick up this one. But you almost
McBurney would be good, but
McBurney wouldn't be bad. Yeah,
you don't know what his caseload is like. And Judge Manning, Jazzy, Judge Manning is a magistrate judge. She's not a superior judge.
Yeah, I mean the thing that actually I think Glanville should take notes here, to what Ingram did. If you follow the rules of the law by the letter, I think that a lot of this, the contentiousness of this wouldn't be there, right? I mean, if he would have just, done what was legally expected and what he was, found to have to do, we wouldn't, a lot of this wouldn't be here. There wouldn't be, this process of it just continuously spinning. There a lot of people, and even in Judge Krause's, her response, I think is going to be interesting, because she never really, she didn't delve too deep into the legality of the ex parte meeting or into Glanville's actions, totally. And part of that is probably because he's a colleague, but he's a colleague to all of the rest of these judges. So it's going to be extremely hard. And I mean, let's just be real. If we were a judge, would you want the case? I mean, the publicity that's going to be surrounding it. There's thousands upon thousands of people who are watching you every day live. And there's even more people who are going to be commenting and making videos, So I don't think I would want to have the case. I'd try to find up some reason to recuse myself too.
I would too, definitely. But you know what, Gregory? Bonnie's going to have to make a decision on this.
She is. You're right. She is. But and I don't think this is much as much to do with Willis as it is to do with Love too, though, right? I think that I was predisposed to Love because she was a DA. I live in Macon, right? She was a DA here, in this area, not in Macon. She was in Dublin, Georgia, right? So she was a DA here. She ran for the actual judicial circuit and lost that election. And I mean, but she's really not a clean person. I mean, there's so many other things that have come out about her from down here, right? So I think that she's the main one that's trying to push this because she needs to get a little bit of notoriety in that area. I mean, she is the chief assistant. You know what I'm saying? Like I, I think Fannie's gonna have to make a decision too.
Greg, I told you what happened. It was Gary that was originally the lead for this case.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
right.
Bonnie asked him to step aside to be second to Love, and then Love took over, and then he quit. He quit and just decided, hey, I'm not, I'm to take my stuff with me. So that's why all the stuff they had to start over, because originally back in November of 2022, they were asking the judge for more time, but because Steele filed for a speedy trial, he said no, but they gave him time by making the jury selection so long.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, Mingo, good morning. What would you like to say? Good afternoon now.
Good afternoon, chat. I have a few questions for you in the chat. What is a RICO? Because well, my understanding, RICO is or some.
Okay, your connection is bad. You went out. Can you hear him, Greg?
Nah, I don't hear him at all. It was like he was breaking up and he went out.
Okay. I guess we'll have to wait till he comes back because I can't hear him at all.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. You was in a bad spot.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had a few questions for you in the chat. What they have Young Thug with this trial is racketeering RICO Act, right?
Yes.
And my understanding, or if you can help me out, is to advance or enhance an organized group, right? Whatever it is, a crime to improve the organization, right?
Yeah, it's something.
That's part of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what the state and the judge did, that's the same thing, right?
As far as you say, the acts that they've been doing?
The acts that they're doing, and with that ex parte, that's what they trying to improve a side. That's not my understanding. Am I confused?
Well, no, I think I can see what you're saying, and I think that would be it's not a stretch, but it could be the case if you were saying that the judge, like, first off, you'd have to say that they're an organization, right? That they're a corrupt organization, and then there was a conspiracy to commit crimes that would further that organization. So you'd have to say that the judge and the prosecution right. So you said the DA's office and the judge were a corrupt organization, right? You'd have to label the whole right, and then they conspired and they broke said laws to enhance that.
Correct. Conspiracy, all type of stuff. Continue.
I understand what you say, but I don't think that's.
I think that's. I think it's a stretch. I mean, because at the end of the day, like, so that, well, because I mean, the ex parte is not necessarily. It wasn't that the ex parte was illegal. He just didn't give notice, though. You see what I'm saying? Like, I mean, that's the thing
still
is
not
like
illegal?
no. So I mean, but he just didn't follow the rules, but it's not illegal though. He did, that. I mean, ethically he broke the rules, but legally, I think that would be debatable.
So you telling me I got my life on the line? I'm fighting a life sentence, and what you got, the state got, they didn't even got the full evidence or whatever for my life. So they stretching. You telling me I can't stretch what they doing? Come on now. Now, you
I
can't lie.
understand.
Come on,
I get it.
come
Look,
on
that's what I'm
now.
saying. I get it. I completely understand what you're saying. I tend to agree that yeah, then you know what I'm saying, they were in cahoots with each other. I just don't know how you know what I'm saying. I don't know if
They
it could
getting
be
paid by the
framed.
same. They getting paid by the same tax dollar. So
Yeah, but I
we're gonna
mean,
kill that out. We're gonna
well,
kill that
but
out.
I mean, well, no, but they get paid by the same tax dollars. But I mean, they get paid. I mean, a sanitation worker for the city of Atlanta gets paid from the same tax dollars too, though. You know what
Hey,
I'm saying?
but okay.
So
Hold on,
if he
hold on, sir.
doesn't, if
So
go ahead.
YSL has artists, people that probably draw art, people that raps. Again, you said people that's hand sanitized. That's part of the same tax dollar. YSL get paid by Young Thug, whoever the CEO is. A person can paint, I can rap, I can do whatever. You get what I'm saying? That's the same thing. You
But there was
are
crimes committed. There was crime. They're saying allegedly
hold on,
there
ain't
was.
no crime committed. They ain't solving now, Miss Sylvia. You can't say no crime committed if they ain't solved. Alleged.
I'm saying allegedly there was
Okay,
crime
yeah.
committed according to the indictment. There was murder. There was uh drugs. There was guns and all. That's what the alleged charges are, right? So, and they saying
Okay.
there were people in the YSL who have a history. Have there? Some of them are felons, and that's they were some were
Individually.
yeah, individually, some were criminals, allegedly. I'm gonna keep saying alleged. So that's what they're saying. That's a see with what you're saying with Fani and the rest of them, they're not supposedly criminals, so it's a little bit
Suppose that's what you think. This is the court of law. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you broke the law. I don't care what you did in the pound. Care if you was a saint. You broke the law. I'm fighting for my life. So what you did, you hold on. A RICO racketeering takes two or more people. It was more than two or more people
but
that did
you're
a crime.
that's a stretch. It's a stretch here.
It's
Come
not
on.
as
It
as
is.
high
Well, yeah, I
as
mean, it's a stretch because yeah, like to say that they broke the law, like so I haven't seen a law that they've broken though. Now, like I said, now they did it was unethical, but I don't know if you could say and I'm not by any means I think what they did was absolutely dead wrong, but I don't think that they necessarily broke the law. So like I don't think you could say like okay they committed X crime blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying and list that out and then frame it in the same tense of what they're trying to say for YSL. And then and with to the argument about YSL though, you have to also remember so the issue here is that the state is saying that YSL is a gang. And what the defense is saying is that it's not a gang; it's a record label, right? So there, you have two different definitions there, right? The state is going to always say, "Oh yeah, nah, it's an organized crime, it's a gang," right? And that's why they have other people to say. So you have all the people who are alleged that are on trial now, the defendants that they're just accused of said crime. But you have to remember, everybody that's plead out, the majority of these people took guilty pleas, so they've been convicted, right? So by the actual definition, they've been convicted, and their sentence was stayed or commuted, right, as part of their plea deal. But in order, and they're going to testify, or they provided information against YSL, right? So the state has done some underhanded stuff and got some people to take certain deals. Now they're convicted though, all right? But the ones that are on trial now, the defendants now, they're just accused. So I mean, I think you have to kind of keep both things into perspective. That's why I say I think it's a stretch by. I mean, I think like on the street, yeah, like I mean, yeah, that what they did, yeah. I mean, it looks like RICO, like that the judge and the prosecutors are working together. But I don't know if that could ever be prosecuted as such though.
again. I understand what you're saying fully. YSL again. America percent could say that's a record label. A percent could say gang. Prove it is. Okay. It's your job to prove that it's a gang, whatever crime it is, you have to prove. Now, I could do the same thing for the state. I can allege whatever I can allege because whatever you done was affecting my client or Young Thug life. You get what I'm saying? It's not a petty thing that they done. If you read the paperwork, it seemed like it's nice, but even Woody said he was under a lot of pressure. So that's not what is that called in uh what is that of that? Damn. They use it as a mob boss, like you enforce or something. Like, I don't know what the word is. You get what I'm saying? When you put a person a lot of pressure to do something. I forgot what the word is. You
A
get what I'm
hearse.
saying?
A hearse.
Yeah. So what is that? We're gonna treat that as a little bird? If you coerce somebody and you the judge and you the DA, we're gonna treat that as a what?
It's
That's a stretch too?
It's
Oh,
unethical.
wow.
It's unethical.
Wow. The stuff that damn. Okay.
Okay.
I guess the law is only for really one sided then. But no, that's all the question I had. Because I just thought if a RICO is take more than two people to start something, shit, I guess the state should be charged the same way. That's just how I look at it. You feel me? The state judge, funny.
There's no indictment that's being brought down on them. So
As of yet, we don't know what they done before. You get what I'm saying? We don't know what they done before. We don't know what they told other witnesses to. You get what I'm saying? Just to be on the witness list. We don't know what they done. You get what I'm saying? And again, we don't know what Funny paid. You forgot Funny paid the other dude done $1 million. You get what I'm saying? You feel me? And the judge only make $130,000. That's before the taxes. So we don't know what they collected to get a verdict. Am I still viewing it wrong?
I mean, it's your opinion. I don't have anything to say on some of the stuff you're saying. I don't know.
Okay. All right. But that's all. Because I was just thinking, because it was if it's just too much crazy stuff going on. So hey, why not a RICO in the state?
I mean, you have a valid point, and some of the stuff that you're saying, I can see where you're coming from. But as far as the law itself, is more of ethical than it is criminal. Of course, according to the way the law is. Hold on a second, yeah.
And I think some of the pleas, if I'm not mistaken, like some probably said agreed to it's probably a gang. And they shot somebody. That's just on their own at the radar. Or yeah, we got shootouts under our belt. That's not like that. That's just like individual combat or something like that. That ain't got nothing to do with saying YSL is a gang. With this, why I'm doing it. That's not what I think. All those charges that they got on those people. One of them just can be walking on the sidewalk and be like, "Damn, somebody left this wide open. Let me take that." Nah, you feel me? So all that trying to make it into the YSL umbrella, I think that's the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you, my guy. I feel you.
Hey, Patrice, I'm sorry. Folks are calling me left and right. My apologies. Patrice, I had you holding on so long.
It's
Come
okay. Good morning. I just wanted to say from the young man who just left, from a social worker's point of view, he wants us to look at the law versus ethics. I understand what the young man is saying, but in everything we do in life, there's ethics. And he's looking at it more trying to combine the ethics with the law. I went back to when Woody first went on the stand, and the majority of the people just labeled this young man as a snitch. When I looked at the young man when he first got up on the stand, I looked at a man who probably fell into the wrong walks of life, and God sent his angel. In every case that we have, there's a teaching moment, even if you take it back from O.J. Simpson's trial. Right now, this case happened so that more people like us have laws that our lawyers can go back. The corruption, these judges are probably recusing themselves if we look at it, that they have a little bit of corruption everywhere. Wherever there's politics and money, there's corruption. So Woody was a snitch, but now Woody has made laws for people like us that they can go back and fight. Right now, this case is too deep for anybody to make a just right decision right now. As we look at it, Thug can sit back and say his music, his career, his life made laws for up and coming artists or up and coming black men who fall in the trenches and get caught. If we look at it, 2015 versus 2023, all the laws have changed. It's just a matter of figuring out how to implement what happened in 15 into 24, and you can't. This is a bunch of individuals who Fanny thought would make no one run against her. Right now, we can't put opinion, ethics into what is already written as a law. I understood what the young man was saying, but I wanted him to sit back and who will write an indictment on a judge, a district attorney, and put their whole livelihood at jeopardy. As far as the other young lady saying everybody talk and having interviews, and it's nothing wrong with the interviews. None of them got into the deepness of the case. They asked basic questions. So where that didn't taint, we were tainted from when Mrs. Love showed those pictures in her opening statement, and not too many of us caught that. So we have to stop taking the ethic point of view out of this law and just let's follow the law and think of it as what was, what could have been, but what is now is that we have a case law for people like us. So don't let them give up too fast because then this case law stopped to save innocent people going to jail or judges coming into the election and being tainted by politics. Right now, it's not about YSL anymore. It's about America. What can they do for America? Sometimes we want to use our own opinion to make it right. Nobody's opinion is right until it's put on. I teach my children, my grandchildren, the power of the pen if you're right or wrong. It matters nothing until they read that pen on that on that paper. So the stretch of a DA and we let's not put that into America that it can be done, and we ruin a lot of people's careers before they even start. That's all I had to say. He was putting law versus ethics out there.
Thank you, Patrice. Lady J, hey.
Hey, can you hear me?
Go ahead. Yes.
Okay. Um, she just threw me off. I was wondering which law she was talking about.
I was talking about any law. The young man that came on was saying a RICO charge could be brought upon the DA and all of that. Pretty much what his ethics versus law, whatever he thought is the law, You also have to put the ethical part into the law that he was trying to say, or we can bring them up because they were a gang, they can be charged. I see what he's saying, but if you put ethics into what he's thinking, then he'll understand why it probably will never happen.
Okay. Okay. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I think the issue with what he's saying, I'm not saying an issue as a bad thing, but I mean, I just don't. Somebody has to bring the charges against Love or the DA's office or the judge. And I mean, let's just be real. In America, who's going to actually do it? In Fulton
right.
County, who's going to do it? I mean, that's the sad part about it, though. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, the only thing I can't even, I just didn't agree with him, period. I didn't agree with him at all.
Mm.
My whole thing is, and a lot of people are not going to agree with me at all. My opinion, I think, is just going to be frowned upon. I'm going to say that. I'm going to say that right now. And I've been talking to my daughter about this trial ever since it started. It was just very interesting to see. But one thing I'm looking at is the victim's perspective. I'm looking at that because I'm thinking of it in the way of, I've lost some people in my family from violence before.
Mhm.
And if somebody in your family was killed, one of those victims who were killed, I feel like the perspective would be a little different. You're going to want justice. Yes, it should have taken place back in 2014, 2015. That should have happened then. Questions should have been asked then. However, going through it now, it's just sad to see a lot of these people, the mockery that's being made on both sides. Going through this process, it's all about, how can all these people, nobody's wanting to take accountability for it. How can they get off? How can these people get out of jail? Everything has been about that. Where is some accountability? It's sad for me to see all these black men, anything that's keeping our black community down. That's, for me, that was what I was seeing. Why is this happening to us? We get up there, we can't remember our children's names. We could barely read. We can't even, we're being asked to read certain paragraphs on things we've signed, and can barely read it. Stay in school. Let's stay educated. For the excuse to always be, well, we didn't know, it's not fair. He didn't know what he was signing. He didn't know what he was doing. Woody didn't know. These excuses are horrible. They committed these crimes. They were out here doing things they shouldn't have been doing. All of these, I grew up in poverty. All these excuses that we're using to commit these terrible crimes is so horrible. It's so terrible. And so in the midst of this, people are losing lives. He wants to say, we want to sue, the DA's office, their RICO. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. He should be able to create a law so that the whole DA's office. This is crazy. When are we going to take accountability? We have no accountability. That's the problem. We're so busy trying to come up with our excuses. That's the thing that's missing. And that's why we're in the situation we're in now. So to me, nobody, that's the elephant in the room. That's the elephant in the room, and nobody wants to touch that. And that's why we're in the situation we're in now. Nobody wants to, and to me, I felt like, yeah, I did see with Judge Glanville, the bias, I'm talking about the whole case. I wouldn't want to touch it either. Hand it over to another county. I'm just summing it all up, all everything in one, and hand it over to somebody else. This is all my thoughts.
But before you go, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Well, so you're talking about like accountability. I mean,
Mhm.
so like and I agree that, I mean, I think that people should have accountability for their actions. The question I have though is that, in this case, there's
Greg, we lost you.
Oh, hold on. Can you hear me now?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I opened a different window. So, I mean, my thing is like, so we have to presume they're presumed enemy. I mean, innocence. You see what I'm saying? Like that's the issue. Like, I mean, I get the accountability part of it. I really do. but I don't know if are we there yet, right? Like, can we actually say that, about them? I mean, right now they're still innocent.
Lady J.
Definitely, they deserve to have a fair trial. Absolutely. But all I'm hearing is let him out, let him out, let him out. I think that both sides deserve to be able to present the case fairly, and I mean, and they, but some accountability as well. So Woody, he told two stories. It seems like a lot of stuff is being swept under the rug, is what I'm saying. Um, but he's out here making a mockery of it. He's out here making money. People are exploiting him for money. I just find it to be odd. Everything is a big joke. So, yeah, I hope that the stories are able to be heard. Maybe another judge from another county can be brought in and let this trial keep going. I hope it's not a mistrial.
But I think what Woody's doing is not necessarily detrimental to his case. In the beginning, I really thought that. I really agreed with that. I was like, man, Woody, like, you don't need to get out here doing all this talking. You know what I'm saying? People are already, you know what I'm saying, trying to make fun of you, trying to, exploit you. But like, I listened to some of the stuff that Woody was saying the other day, and it truly seemed like it came from a genuine place. I mean, I think dude has seen some traumatic events. I think that he had a hard life growing up, and those are things that, like, we can't ever take away. Like, those are experiences that'll forever shape him. Now, has he probably done stuff that he's probably not proud of? Yeah, but at that time, that may have been what he needed to do to, what I'm saying, to survive. And that's not necessarily, that's not taken up for it or in defense of it. But I mean, I think that we have to kind of look at people's situations and people's lives a little bit differently, and that's why this trial is so important. Because had this trial not been televised, right, had we never known about the injustices that we're seeing against them, other people wouldn't know what to look out for. So I think that there's a bigger testament to what Woody's doing now, actually being able to have that platform to talk. For him to be able to come out and say that, yeah, I've done stuff that was wrong, and I want to do things differently. I want to provide for my children. I want to do this. And sometimes I think he does get caught up in the little jokes and things like that. But I mean, I think that this has really afforded him a platform to make some change. Maybe not in everybody else's life, but in his own life, right?
I
And so I,
agree.
I think that there's a big, there's a big kudos to that movement and some of the people that are surrounding him that have his best interests at heart.
I agree. I think that, no, I watched the entire trial. And I think that that's the part, though, that everybody can change, but you do have to take accountability. It's great that Young Thug made the change. Um, However, nobody's angry and people can change, but you do have to take accountability for the things you did when you were the way you were. You were in the streets. You thought you were on top of your game, and you told people to do some things, you might have been the man back in the day. And now you got to pay for those things that you did. That's how it goes.
Can I ask you a
Miss,
question, Miss Lady J? Oh, go ahead, Patrice. Oh, go ahead, Patrice.
I would just like to ask a question to Miss Lady J. I understand where you're coming from a victim's point of view, and also from these ones that are taking the heat. Accountability, maybe some can't take accountability because it's not their account to take the ability for. If you don't have enough evidence in 215 to say who committed what crime, who killed who, did they do it on their own? Did they do it as a gang? Did they do it as anything? Maybe they have the wrong people that they're trying to make this accountability for. We And another
Right.
question I have to ask from a victim's point of view, I've lost not my I have one son, but I have lost a lot of his best friends to the street. And when I when I think about it from a victim's point of view, we all get what we reap, we all get what we sow, and
Exactly.
nobody deserves to die, but sometimes we put our lives in position and set up to be the victim for something that I did, or we don't think that our people who have been killed did anything. And as
Exactly.
far as we have to take it back. These young men can't read. These young men can't write. These young men can't do a lot. But I want to take time and take you back to our slavery days. How do we stand accountable for some things just being passed down generation to generation to generation?
And let
Back
me respond to you. Yes.
when I was growing up, you didn't have to have a high school diploma to get a beautiful job. What they are setting us up for is the failure to fight amongst each other on
Mm-hmm.
these areas.
Mm-hmm.
So we all have to stand accountable. I still
Mm-hmm.
have to stand accountable. I'm
Mm-hmm.
still one of those mothers today who is not afraid to go on that corner and tell them young men, pull up your pants, take
Mm-hmm.
your hat off when you walk in the house. If you're
Mm-hmm.
hungry, come to my house and get a meal instead of
Mm-hmm.
going to steal it. If you need $10, come to ask me, and if I got it, you got it. So the accountability all stands in us because we won't have victims either if we do it
Exactly.
right.
Amen.
Exactly.
This
I,
trial,
I agree.
I am very thankful for this trial. I am very thankful because it pushes our community to learn the law because none of us want to sit down and learn
Exactly.
how to get our family not to do what's not supposed to be done. And as
Exactly.
far as thug, yes, I believe he was a thug back in his day, but he
Mm-hmm.
turned his life around. And because
Mm-hmm.
he was around these people, she couldn't pull Woody and put him on an indictment and everybody pay attention or get a conviction. She had to pick the biggest one out of that. Everybody who got on that stand said at one point, this man told me if I don't change my life,
Mm-hmm.
he was not going to mess with me.
Mm-hmm.
So, as far as excuses in life, they're never excuses. We have no excuses. And I always ask my son, peer pressure. There's no such thing as peer pressure in my life because if that friend of yours asks you to jump off the building, are you going to do it? But if that friend tells you, man, if you carry this gun, I give you $1 million, you pick and choose in life what we want to do. So as
Exactly.
far as accountability, let's start with us who's seeking accountability, and maybe our younger generations will see that we have to stand up. Everybody's scared to. Back in the day, the neighbor next door could have told me, "I'm gonna whoop you before you get down that street," because just seeing what you did. Now everybody in the community is, oh, don't say nothing. He might shoot your face off. Oh, don't. But then when we get to this point, is everybody should take accountability. It starts with me, my
Exactly.
family
No,
member.
I'm saying I didn't say anybody was guilty. I said take accountability if you have done something. Now I didn't say that somebody did. You do have to produce evidence. Now I never said I don't know for sure anybody did do anything. I think everybody's gonna jump in the gun to say I don't know because I wasn't there. But like you just
You
said,
did mention, that's what I was about to ask you. You did
yeah,
mention of thug giving directions. So that's why I was going to
I
ask.
didn't say that somebody. I'm talking in general. I'm saying if you whoever was giving some direction, whoever was doing it, like you just said, if you were a victim, maybe you made yourself a victim. If you in the streets, you about that life, then be about that life. You know what I mean? No, I'm just saying whatever whoever did whatever, you should be held accountable for that. You know what I mean? I don't know who did what. That's why they're in court. That's what I just said. I don't know who did what. That's why this thing is an ongoing. They should both be given an opportunity, but the prosecution should be able to give their case as well. That's why I said if it was your family member that something happened to, you would want the prosecution to be able to present that case as well. That so
But
I
you
think
want,
you're
but you want them to present facts and not made up stuff and try,
exactly.
you know.
Yeah. So I'm not saying any that, oh yeah, he did it, da da da. That never came out of my mouth. Never came out of my mouth. So kind of jumping the gun here. But yeah, I
No,
think
I
that they
asked.
should be able
No,
to
no, I asked
present.
that because the statement you made was the victim. I wasn't saying
Yeah.
that. Yeah, you said you made a statement saying the victim, and y'all everybody saying let these people out of jail. So maybe that's where I interpreted what you're saying as I presented it. But it was just you started off
Yeah.
talking about from the victim's point of view, and I
Yeah.
get it.
It's
But
mhm.
but if you in 2015, if they knew who killed who, they would have got him then. Is what I'm saying. As far as
Yeah.
from the victim, I'm not
Hmm.
jumping on you for what you're saying. I was just coming from like giving you the point of view of the victim. I mean, I get it. Nobody should die. But also, they don't
Mhm.
know who killed them. And if they did, we wouldn't be here talking about nothing 215.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's why I said it should have happened in 2014, 2015. But they're talking about it again. We're still revisiting it again. So somebody should still be held accountable because somebody still died. You know what I mean? It's still somebody's lives that we're talking about. Somebody still did it and they still didn't catch the people, evidently. So, you know what I mean? Somebody there still should be held accountable,
But they have
regardless.
a case of made up stuff from the internet. They don't have nothing concrete. I have not seen anything that's concrete to say, okay, these people actually did it.
Yeah, they don't. And so somebody did do it. You know what I mean? We know it's murder. We know somebody did it and somebody knows. It sounds like, you know, Woody has some information possibly. We don't know. He
Well, he
has some
also said he
stories.
lied a lot.
Yeah, and we
That's
don't know.
right.
We don't know.
And the worst part, I mean, and this is even worse than like saying that there's no accountability. And I'm not saying this to you against what you're saying. But the thing is, if we're saying that someone should be held accountable, but the worst thing about it is you can't get there through made up facts. Like you can't just get there
Mhm.
through fiction. You can't get through. Hey, we just got to solve this case, so we're gonna put it on whoever. Oh, this sounds good. Let's throw this in there. Oh, that sounds great. Yeah, this is a little bit better. Let's put that in there. And the sad part about it is there are a ton of murders in this country that go unsolved. And for whatever reason, bad police work, nobody comes forward, whatever it is. But if you can't solve it, I would much rather say, I understand that you can't solve it than have to sleep, knowing that you sent someone innocent to prison. You know what I'm saying? I think that that's worse. That's grimy
And the sad thing, Greg, they've been doing that to black men for so long. You
for
know how many black
years, for
men have
years.
been in jail for many, many years for crimes they
Yep,
didn't commit, but because they made up a story and that person supposedly matched it, they've spent years in jail. I just don't want the same thing to happen to these individuals if they did not do it. And so
that's
far,
right.
evidence has been shown. I don't see any
I
evidence
don't
saying
see it.
people did
And,
it.
and, and I think the DA knows that. I think they know they don't have the evidence to prove it. You know what I'm saying? That's why Love does the way, she gives these presentations the way she does. And even Hilton, she's up there at Woody, point at this, point at that, because it just you put too many facts in one person's head. Eventually that person just kind of tunes out. You know what I'm saying? And more than likely it works for the prosecution more than it would the defense. But you're right. There's tons of people who are in jail that aren't afforded the opportunity to have their case viewed by public opinion and people with oversight. You know what I'm saying? For so many years, it was the DA and the judge. They did collude and say, it don't matter. We just gonna make this joker guilty, right? And at the
Yeah.
end of the day, that's just what it was. And then now,
And
after they
there's
spent
people,
20, 30 years in jails, we let them out.
and then Greg, there's people who have been sent to the chamber of dying. You know what I mean? They kill these people
Hmm.
and later on find out, oh, it wasn't him. You can't
That's
bring
right.
that person's life back because you already took it. And that person did not do it. DNA find out, hey, he was not the culprit.
That's right. And to make it even worse, we have cases here in Georgia, which you've seen them, like the DNA will show that this person didn't do it. They'll try to stay the execution and then they'll deny it. They'll send it to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said, well, we're just not going to revisit it. You see what I'm saying? I mean, that's just how much the scale is tipped against, black and brown people. And it has been for years. And, to her point about, yeah, okay, we have to start with accountability. And I think Ms. Patrice was correct. The sense of community is just not the same as it was back then. And how you get back to that's a whole nother discussion for a whole nother day. But I think that there's a big, what I'm saying, that's a big part of it. But I mean, when you're looking at this trial, I mean, we have to go off of what we see. And let's call a spade a spade. If you're trying to tell me that 2 + 2 = 6, and I know that's not true, I just can't buy it. You see what I'm saying? I just can't buy that.
Yeah. Hey, Marley.
Hey y'all. I'm at work, but I just wanted to step in and say, like, to Lady J, I was really getting irritated in the chat or whatever, because if my family member was murdered or whatever, which I've had my family member murdered. It was all over the news, this, that, and the third, or whatever. Yes, I want to seek justice. Yeah, I get that. But what I don't want is another family to have one of their family members in jail and there is literally no proof that their family member did it. And as far as accountability, the accountability starts where? Because if Woody can't read, whose fault is that? Because last time I checked down here in the South, because I'm in Dallas, the South, but the school systems are what? Government, the state, all of that stuff. Let's start with accountability because that's where it's going. And at the end of the day, if we don't have the resources and we don't have this, that, and the third, or blah, 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 like product of your environment, you can't say that that's an excuse. If that's all that these people know, that's all this, that, and the third, like it just is what it is. But like I said, at the end of the day, though, what we not finna do is sit here and be like, oh, well, I want justice, so I'm gonna pick you and I'm just gonna put all this on you and I'm gonna try to make it stick so this family over here can feel good about themselves. That's what we not doing. And YSL, we ain't pointed not a nothing. Not a 1, not a 2, and whatever. It ain't no evidence showing that Young Thug did anything, called no shots, no nothing. If anything, the state need to be in trouble. The state need to be in trouble because they the ones up here. Miss Sylvia, I don't want to cuss on your live.
No cussing, Marley. Go hold it.
But the state is out there bad. The state is out there bad. If these folks, Miss Love, especially with her bulldog face, if she can't hold a case on with the evidence that they got, the case needs to be dropped. There's no reason that anybody should be sitting in jail for as long as they've been sitting in jail. No bail, no bond, no whatever it's called. I don't know. But like all of this is unjust. So Miss Lady J or whatever her name was or whatever, like, ma'am, stay in the comments. Bye, y'all. Just stay in the comments.
Bye, Marley. All right, I'm going to put the link. Anybody else would like to come in and give their point of view? Jazzy, where are you? I see Jazzy. Jazzy, you want to come up and say some stuff? I saw you in there. And who else? Tatum, you want to come up? Lola, Lisa, how about you guys? I want to hear what you guys got. I want your voices to be heard. What do you guys think? Those that are coming in, what we just read earlier is about Judge Ingram recusing herself from the case. Oh, I just said the word right, y'all. I just said the word right. But she has recused herself because of the deputy that was assigned to her courtroom. Okay, I don't want to say that name. I don't know when that's going to come, but I know that the attorneys are preparing motions. They are preparing motions, and definitely one of those motion is for a bond. Another motion is for dismissal of this case. There's a lot of motions that are going to come through within the next couple of days. And we don't even have, so we're going to be looking to see who's the next judge that they're going to put on here. We're going to see, hopefully this judge stays on. We're going to see who a judge, let's see. I'm going to see if Thugger shows who's on there. Hold on, I'm just looking. Because Thugger be on the system checking it out. Let's see what he says. I don't see anybody who hasn't been and they have to put it on the back on the wheel. Don't know who's next. All right, Ellis, hold on. Your thing is not connected. It says your device is not connected. Ellis, it says your device not Tatum. Okay, there you go. Tatum and Ellis.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I was just going to say, kind of piggyback off of the young lady that was speaking a few minutes ago in regards to, number one, the interview that Woody did yesterday. I have to agree with her. I didn't hear, and I watched it in its entirety. I did not hear one thing, number one, that Woody said that could be used against him if he's put back on the stand. I thought he handled all the questions very well. He was very mindful not to really say much in regards to the case. Number two, I don't know if anybody else that watched it paid attention what he kept reiterating, because like another individual just said, Woody undermined them. He's very intelligent. Woody is not the dummy that they wanted to portray him as. He said that once he went into Fed's custody, from that point on, he
Okay,
educated.
they got a new judge.
Hmm?
Reese Whitaker is the new judge. Paige Reese Whitaker. Thank you, Justice Matter.
Another new judge. Here we
Yeah,
go again.
Paige P. Reese Whitaker is the new judge.
Until she recuses or he recuses themselves. But anyway, he talked about how he's educated himself in law and the case factors, and how every time he was put a charge on him, he would immediately write the bar association. So Woody is very highly intelligent. Um, he plays dumb when he wants to, and he knows why he's playing dumb. But I really thought that he did an excellent job on that interview last night, and I think the two guys that were hosting the interview did an exceptional job as far as the way they were asking him questions. Um, and I do believe that a lot of why Woody ended up in a lot of the predicaments he has ended up in is due to the death of his mother. That's all I want to say, Miss Sylvia. And again, thank you.
Okay, this is Paige Reese Whitaker. This is Paige Reese Whitaker, the judge that just got the case. Paige Reese Whitaker is the judge that's on the wheel for this case. All right. So go ahead. Who is next? Warren. Go ahead, Warren.
Good afternoon. Good morning, if it's morning where you are. Thank you, Sylvia, for allowing me on your platform. I would be mindful and be respectful that this is your platform. And please like, subscribe, and share content. Let's get the algorithms up. I was really coming on here because of the young lady that made the comment about accountability. I understand where she was. I get a little bit about what she was saying about accountability, but to take accountability for something that you didn't do would undermine the fact that you're innocent until proven guilty. And that's all I wanted to say about that. At least that's what it should be. You're innocent until proven guilty. So why would I be taking accountability for something that I feel that I'm innocent of, or I know that I'm innocent of?
Thank you, Warren. All right, beloved.
Hi, Miss Sylvia. I am an Atlanta native, grew up there. I am at least 10 years older than Woody. And I just want to give your listeners some insight into what it's like growing up in Atlanta, especially if you grow up in poverty. Um, at least Woody was born in a different, at least 10 to 15 years after me. Growing up in Atlanta, they had projects everywhere. But within those projects, there were recreational centers. We had volleyball, softball, swimming, We had a lot of things that could keep you out of trouble. Even the schools were in each neighborhood for the projects are very close. During 1996, Atlanta got the Olympics, and they decided to tear down all of the projects to make a show for, the Olympics or whatever. And in doing that, they just kind of spread out. It wasn't just gentrified. There was nowhere really for the poor people to go. So they went into the outskirts. Some of them bought small houses. They did what they could. And they tore down all of the recreation centers. There was no child care. It was during the crack epidemic. I'm not making excuses for Woody or Thug or anyone, but if you didn't grow up in it, you don't understand the environment and the mentality that they come from. Um, when these young kids grew up after 1996, there was nowhere for them to go. So if your parent was a drug addict or dead, as in Woody's case, there was nothing for you but the streets. If you didn't have a grandmother that stepped in or an auntie that stepped in and that lived in the suburbs and could get you out of the city. I'm not excusing Woody. I think everyone should take accountability, but in that accountability, the system and their family, everybody kind of failed this kid. And I know he's not a kid, he's a grown man. But because I grew up in Atlanta and I got to see, it wasn't just a bad environment, is what I'm telling you guys. Also, within that, we had something called the Red Dog Team. The Red Dog Team was like this drug enforcement team that would come into the neighborhoods, and instead of locking these kids up or getting them some kind of help, they would actually put the drug dealers in their cars, take them up the street, take the money off of them, and send them back into the hood. Take the drugs off of them and send them back into the hood. So this corruption that Woody is dealing with, it has been there for a very, very long time. When he's telling you guys that they're putting charges on him, he is not lying. This Atlanta has been corrupt for many, many, many years. And I just wanted to share that with your viewers so that they can understand the environment, so that they can understand that he really is. I'm not saying that everything he's saying is true, but I am telling you that a lot of it is could be true because we've seen it, we've witnessed it with our own eyes. So thank you for allowing me to speak, and I hope that gives people some insight.
Love, thank you so much for that. Tamaris, you're next.
Hello, Miss Sylvia. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I just had a question. I see that Little Woody's YouTube was erased and Miss Bumpers' YouTube was erased. Do you think the state has something to do with that?
No,
Oh,
no, they make a decision, making some changes on their YouTube.
oh, okay. I was watching her live and she was like, she didn't know what happened.
I know
Thank
Woody.
you
I did
for.
not know hers, but I know Woody has been making some changes in his because he has a publicist. Now, as far as
Uh,
Kayla, I don't know what's going on with her channel. I know
oh, okay.
Woody's making some changes to his.
Okay. Thank you, Miss
And
Sylvia.
they can't just unless they send something to YouTube, and YouTube it has to go through the whole process. They would let Kayla know about it first.
Yeah, she was going live earlier and she was adamant about she didn't give anyone her fair word. And the people in the chat were asking her, do she think it was the state? And she was like, it could be, but she don't know. And she spoke with YouTube, but I think they did put out a lot of videos that were not good with him still being a state witness.
Yeah, but that means they would take out everybody else's videos as well.
Right,
Because
right,
a lot of people reported on those videos.
right. Uh, yeah. All right. thank you for letting me ask you that question.
And thank you for coming up. I appreciate you.
Yes, ma'am.
East 20 East TV, welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, Auntie, what's happening?
How are you? I'm good.
I'm alright. What I got to say? Yeah, that lady definitely was getting on my nerves. All this stuff she was talking. But, one thing I got to say is, no matter how educated you is or how uneducated you think somebody else is, they always might know something more than you. And Woody definitely know his way around the courtroom. He played them folks all the way to the left and getting what need to be done. And she kept talking about the elephant in the room, but the elephant in the room is, to me, why we still using laws and constitutions from 1776 when we know why all them laws was made for. We going off stuff that was 300-400 years old, and no politician, no matter what year it is ever talking about updating it. The world get updated every year, but our laws been the same for 300-400 years. That's the elephant in the room. Until we as a society get these folks to change what's going on in this government, it's gonna always be like this. And if Atlanta is the blackest city in America and the corruption can happen here, you can only imagine what happened in these sundown towns.
You got a lot of pots back there.
Oh, I'm at work, man. That's my partner back there. Hey, my boy.
I was like, wait a minute, I'm trying to find who's with the pot.
Oh, that's that nigga. My boy, hold on for me.
Sylvia, he said he cooking up here. That's what it is.
But yeah, let me try to walk out right quick. But yeah, man, it's something about why we still going off. This the only thing in America that has never changed. No matter what decade we in, what century we in, the laws have always been the same. And until we change that, stuff like this is gonna continue to happen year after year, day after day. And I don't see what too much we can do about it, but go with the flow and see what happens. If you get off your charges, you get off. But most likely, we know if you the same color as us, you're going to have a hard time in the courtroom. Even if the prosecutors look like you. Love, Glanville, all them probably got family that look just like them and wouldn't want their family in none of these situations. But in their mind, they got a job to do, and they ain't going to do their job. And if it takes for people like us to get thrown under the bus, they gonna do it. And that's all I got to say.
Thank you, but it's hard to hear you with that pot and pan in the backyard, in the background. Okay, AJ, go ahead, AJ. AJ? Mr. Taylor. All right. AJ, I'm gonna move on to the man William. Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes,
Hold
I
on one
can.
second. Huh?
I can hear
Hey,
you.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah, man. See, the problem is we acting like Woody ain't no criminal. We clearly know that this man is a criminal. I'm from Atlanta. A lot of people want to play these games and talk about, okay, he might not be doing these wrong things and all these things. We can argue. I know for a fact that Atlanta's system is corrupt. First of all, right? We know that. We see the corrupt evidence that Woody have chosen to be a part of the game and chosen to be a part of this. And we can't blame the public school system and blame any of the things that this grown man that made a decision to do. This is sad. Woody is a criminal. It is proven that he is a criminal. Point blank, period. Now, when we start talking about Young Thug and we start talking about the other people in this case, I would give that olive branch to believe that we can have this conversation that, yes, you know, they might be being tried unfairly and different things like that. But we can't project this on all the people because I think even Woody himself says that he's a criminal. So can we at least agree that some of the people that's in this trial, and AKA is the funny part about it, the criminals, they actually giving them immunity. And they trying to prosecute the people who we haven't proved that was criminals.
But that's what we agreed upon. We agreed upon that.
So yeah, so I think they should throw this whole case out. I'm curious to see because let me ask the question. My question to you is, say for example, the next three judges recuse themselves. How long are they gonna let this man sit in jail while they trying to find a judge?
So I believe that the attorneys have to put a motion in, and if you don't have a judge to take on the motion, then they're still going to sit in jail unless
So that's
somebody's emergency, and sort of like they did with Dempsey, have him to come in and hear the motion and he makes a decision on it, or take it back down to magistrate court and let one of them do it. So it depends. I don't know. I don't know the
if
process.
if I was a judge in Atlanta, I would not want to touch this case. I would want to stay out of it. It's too already muddy, and the biggest thing is a judge can't really just jump in where Granville left off. He really have to start all the way over, or he or she. So this idea that he could just come in and take over from where it's at, I don't even think that's a realistic idea to give a judge a fear. What are you going to do? Go back and read the notes of Granville, who we proved that been corrupt? It's just so muddy in the waters. I think they just say, hey, state needs to say, we're going to take this as a loss. We lost this one. We need to get our stuff together. We got to figure it out next time. But this idea of bringing a new judge in, trying to catch a judge up to speed, making the judge go back and watch a whole bunch of footage, not even halfway through the case, I just don't think it's practical at this point.
Well,
I can agree on that one. It isn't practical.
I just wanted to say real quick. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Woody was one of the first people to admit that he was a criminal and has been involved in criminal activity throughout his life. I
He
don't
said
think
it.
he's ever been in denial of that.
He said it.
I
He said
mean,
it.
Yeah, no,
he,
but I'm just saying I done heard people come up here and today and tell about it was the education system, it was his parents. No, this dude's a criminal. Like we can't get to a point where we trying to blame it on all the stuff. And the crazy part is I'm from Atlanta. So when you look at me, I'm a college educated military dude, and you say, oh, it was the system. No, I chose to make different decisions than Woody.
But
okay, but we have to also remember that people are products of their environments and
environment.
everybody doesn't get the same breaks. I worked in the criminal justice system with probation and parole. And I see the lives that a lot of these people come from, and they aren't given chances because the system, and especially young black men, and I used to tell my clients all the time, my young black clients, once they assign that number to you, they own you because they're going to go out of their way to find ways and means to keep you in the system. And if anybody even knew anything about the stock market, go in and look at what some of the highest stocks are. That's in the prison system. That's where they
Yeah,
make
no,
some of their biggest money. So yeah,
ma'am,
it's
I'm
the
not disagreeing.
educational system,
Listen,
but excuse me, let me just finish. To some degree, all of those entities do play a part in the outcome of what these kids are. They really truly do. The school system plays a part because you take black kids and you put them in a school where they don't have the updated books. They don't have the same electronical equipment that they do over in the white school districts. So they are to blame for a lot of this. I'm not saying all of it, but they are. And a lot to play. Parents are a big part of the outcome of some of these children and the roads and the lifestyles that they choose to live. So
all
we
right. So,
we, we got to acknowledge put blame where blame is to be put.
so I get what you're saying. I can technically point the finger and say it's everybody's fault, right? I understand that to a degree we can blame everything. But when we start talking about Woody as an individual, I'm not saying that there's some people in the system that it's not the system fault. I'm just telling you with Woody, it's Woody's fault. Now, I get that we can say the system is this, the school system is this, and that does apply because we understand that it's no such thing as all. Like, we can't say that all of this and all of that. So I understand that. But I'm just saying when we take somebody who admit to being a criminal, who's doing criminal activity, and do all those things, and then we try to say, you know what? It's the school system that Woody decided that he wanted to be a criminal. I think it's crazy. I think it's absolutely crazy that we try to do that. Now, it's other people that's in the system that it was that fault, but Woody does not apply to that rule. And I think that's fair.
To the gentleman just speaking, I understand what you're saying, but what we're trying to tell you is, yeah, you were able to get into the military, but you had guidance there. No one makes it to the top or to a better life without some help, whether it's a teacher, an advisor, a parent, a aunt. You need some kind of guidance to guide you in the right direction. What we're telling you is we're not making excuses for Woody. We're not saying that he was never a criminal. What we're telling you is that he didn't have anything that guided him in the right direction. So
So
please,
hold on.
please,
So
please
can I
don't.
respond to that?
Yeah, as soon as I finish, you can. Don't think we're saying that Woody has no accountability here. He said that he was a criminal, but just because you made a choice that led you in a very good direction doesn't mean that Woody had those same, or not just Woody, anyone has those same choices or someone guiding them in the same direction or in a great direction. Just like you had someone guiding you in a good direction, maybe the people in his ear were guiding him to the streets. All I'm saying is people who make it up and people who make it out, they tend to forget and tell
Okay,
everybody
guys,
else
hold
to.
on. I just got intel. This judge here probably will be recused because she's the one who gave Woody bail recently.
Oh wow.
Yep. So she ain't gonna be on that too. So yeah, but the respond to what you saying, you right. I can say that I had a recruiter come to my high school and a recruiter said, hey, the Army is a better thing, and I had to make a decision. And you can say that those people would help me, this, that, and the third. This is what I do. I give people excuses up to 18. And I think this is just the reality. Your childhood, we can blame on somebody else. But once you become an adult and once you become a man, it's not for you. It's now time for you to start taking responsibility of your own actions. And this is how I mentor young men. I get you. It might have came up. You might have had some messed up parents. You might have had some messed up uncles. You might have some messed up things. But now, at some point in time, men have to take accountability for their own actions. And we're talking about Woody ain't no child. This is a
Yeah,
grown
but
man.
just like you
Okay,
said, 18. Being 18 doesn't make you mentally an adult. It may make you an adult in the world's eyes, but being 18 does not make you mentally adult. As a matter of fact, your brain is not fully developed until you're 25. So what you're saying makes logical sense, but it doesn't make real sense. I get what you're saying about accountability, but some people don't come into their trauma, whatever age your trauma happens in, you get kind of stuck there. So someone
I
may
think,
become a man,
and and
someone may become a man at 25 or a woman at 30.
but
You're
that's the problem is we make excuse for him. Be love.
no, I'm not
I get.
making any
Yes, it is.
excuses. I'm not
I'm
making
telling.
any excuses.
Okay,
What
guys. Time
I'm
out.
not making any excuses. What I'm trying to tell you is sometimes it pays to have empathy and sympathy. And if you haven't walked in those shoes, I walked in those shoes. I grew up in Atlanta. I know what it's like. If I had moved, I moved north to Cobb County. It saved my life. What I'm telling you is it matters who's around you. The environment matters. It really does take a village. If you experience that, then you have no clue what it's like not to have that. It can change and affect who you are, is all I'm saying.
and
Absolutely. Can I chime in, Miss Sylvia? I just
Okay,
want to say
Tatum.
this.
Go ahead, Tatum. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say this one thing and then I'm gonna drop off because I absolutely agree with what Beloved is saying. I'm 41 years old right now, and my mom was on drugs from the time I was born until currently today's date. And she had 5 kids. I have 4 brothers. One of my brothers was murdered, and the other 3 were absolutely turned to the streets. We all grew up in foster care. So from 4 until 14, I was in foster care, and it was not a good situation. I was removed from the foster care and everything. So my brothers actually went to shelter, so they didn't have the same opportunity that I had because I played basketball. And when they came and got me, I ran and I ran under my coach's desk. So when I ran under my coach's desk, she immediately adopted me because she wanted me to continue to play basketball. My brothers didn't get that opportunity. So now one of my brothers is doing 45 years. Another one of my brothers is just currently waking up every day with no type of real type of motivation, just what he knows, and it's the street. And as much as I try to guide them and tell them which way to go, it's all mental. If that's all you know, it's all you know. Even if you out there by yourself, you're just out there by yourself. And that's the absolute truth. They were out there by themselves.
So,
So if they
so
didn't have any help,
So
I'm
let
they
her
just
So
finish.
no,
Let her finish. Let her finish, y'all.
so if
Go
they
ahead,
didn't
Tay.
have any help, they didn't have any help to no one to guide them and lead them in the right way, no one to tell them nothing different. And the only way that I got an outlet is because I played basketball. If I didn't have my coach to tell me, hey, do this and come on, you can get it done, it would have been so hard for me. Even growing up right now, I have two boys and one daughter, but I have six kids in my house. Because mentally, when I see a child out on the street, your mother don't want you, I can't refuse not to help them because of my heart, the way that I was brought up. So mentally, it does play a role on how you are brought up when you're an adult. So it does affect you, even though it happened when you were a child. At 18, it does not stop your trauma. You're still hurt. If I could find someone, a great lawyer that would take my case to help me sue the state of Texas, I would have been done it. Because mentally, I have connection problems with my kid. I don't want them on my sight too long. Or I can't allow my kid to go off too long because mentally it plays on me because of what happened to me, what the state of Texas did. So it doesn't stop at 18, Mr. Williams. I'm sorry, it doesn't.
Thank you, Tatum. You are
so,
awesome. You're awesome. Thank you for that because people don't understand trauma goes on to somebody until they die, until you get healing from it.
yep.
People don't understand that. And your environment is a factor of who you become, regardless. I don't care what no one say. Your environment is who you become.
Miss
so Miss
Sylvia,
Cynthia, I want to say
wait.
thank you for having me on. I'm gone. I just want to say thank you for having me on. Y'all have a good day.
You're welcome.
But Miss Sylvia and the young lady that just finished speaking, and God be with you. I am so glad that you were able to make it out. And I'll just give you an example of myself. I was being raised in a home with both parents. My father died, who I was very, very close to when I was 14. I thought the world was done for me. I began to rebel. I was a straight A student. I went from being a straight A student to being a DF student. I didn't care anymore. Then I turned around and I lost my mother at 28. That was really traumatizing for me. I found myself lost to the world of drugs. I was not raised in a home with drugs. My parents never used drugs. I had never been exposed to it. But because of the trauma that I had experienced, that is where I found my peace, my relief, and my sanity. Because as long as I was high, I didn't have to think about my parents no longer being here. I didn't have to, see my other friends who would have their parents' homes, to go to for the holidays or whatever. I'm now 65 years old and I still deal with trauma from the loss and the death of both of my parents. So nobody has the right to say how another individual's life has been impacted or influenced by the trauma that they have gone through. They just don't. I know people that's 70, 80 years old that's still living in trauma and can't come out of it because they've been dealing with it for so long. That is the only life they know. And for anyone to say that we can't blame certain aspects of life, like the school system, the communities people are being brought up in, what the government, go read Project 2025, you guys. You think these kids got it bad right now? If Project 2025 is approved, they have no life. So we need to, and just finish it off. If anybody watched that interview that Woody did last night, that young man took responsibility for his actions and behaviors over and over and over again and
Yep.
continued to say that he blamed nobody but himself for the way his life has turned out. And now he's trying to redeem himself and let other young men and women know that you don't have to live the life that I live. So yes, he is taking responsibility. Thank you, Miss Sylvia. I'm done.
Also, I find that it's people who had help along the way, that had a village, that had someone that guided them, who go back and tell everyone else, you need to pull yourself up by the bootstraps. You need to do this. You need to take accountability. But they're not owning that they had a village. They're not owning that they had help, that they didn't do it on their own, but they're telling everyone else, hey, you need to do it for yourself. It's not it's just not fair.
Okay, thank you, beloved. I got two individuals who haven't said anything yet. AJ and then Dom.
What's up? What's up, Sylvia?
Hey, AJ.
I was just, patiently waiting. But I wanted to maybe pivot away from the speculating about Woody upbringing and his mindset now and ask you a question about all these judges. Will the YSL Avengers have to keep readdressing their emotions, or they just got it waiting to a permanent person?
They have to wait to the permanent person. And then I just saw the post from Thugger Daily. This judge page, she remember they put down that she's a judge that's been covered by the YSL attorneys. They paid into her campaign.
Oh, they
So
tried to put a YSL judge up there. Man, just drop the case at this point, man. Lord have mercy. I mean, with this revolving, it seems like every judge in the building is going to recuse themselves, which I thought was the rule anyway. Couldn't no Fulton County judge be over it again. But
well, Judge Page is probably going to be probably going to recuse herself.
yeah.
Go ahead, Dom. 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 Okay, Monica, your thing saying your device is not connected. You probably have to go out and come back in.
Yeah, Gemini, I tried to bring us back.
Okay, Dom. Did anybody else want to say something while Dom's his phone is not attaching? While he's probably doing something?
I just want to comment off of what someone said. If you grow up in a house where drugs were never used, you're not taking accountability. Yes, you are. I took accountability. I
Oh,
didn't
stop,
blame my
stop, stop.
parents. I went straight into treatment and got the help I needed. That's why today I am a licensed, certified substance abuse counselor that helps people that were in the same predicament I was. I never blamed my parents for my drug addiction. I said I began to use drugs because I was traumatized by the death of my parents. There's a big difference in blaming someone and seeing why you were traumatized. There's a very big difference.
All right, Dom, go ahead before we lose you. Dom.
Hey, Sil, what's going
Yeah.
on, guys? I just wanted to say a few things.
Cavell.
Like three things. What's going on, guys? So one, not to bring it back to that. Well, one, I want to ask you, Sylvia. Did you see Lil Woody's interview yesterday?
Yes, I did, but I didn't see the whole thing.
Okay, yeah, I just didn't want to say the name on your channel without your permission. But if you guys can, definitely go, just do your research and find out where it is, because that interview
You
it's
can
like
tell his
two
name.
hours long.
You can
Oh,
tell the
okay. It's called Oh, okay, hold on one second. Let me grab it real quick. It's called like
Danza
I
Project.
just watched some of it. Right. There you go. Yep. And so the Danza Project, Danza Project, and the hour it's like 2 hours long, right? And so, just to kind of go back to what you guys were saying, not to bring it to that point, but people were saying, he's not taking accountability, this, that, and the other. Um, I can relate to Woody because I lost my mom when I was 18 from cancer. And so it is different when you have a two-parent household when you're growing up, and I get it. 18, you're an adult. Totally get that. But when you're that young, you're not grown mentally. You see what I'm saying? You have never even paid a bill at that point. Some people have, but most haven't, right? You off to college or whatever. So with the guy saying he went to the army right at 18, that's a totally different way to go. He probably had both parents, and he was on the right path, right? But when you lose one parent at 10, then you lose the other parent at 17, then you lose your best friend. I mean, that right there, that can mentally mess with you, you know? And he did say, he did take accountability, and he did say he was pushing away family members who was trying to help him, because he was saying, you know, you're not my parents, basically. You know, so I can understand Woody's pain. Now, as far as someone in the chat was saying that, you know, people have lost their lives behind this and this, that, and the other, I get that as well. But at the same time, you have to go through the court of law to get tried and all that. And Woody, not to stick up for him, but he served his time and he's admitted to it. Now for YSL, they are being charged, you know, in the court of law, and we clearly see what's happening. And then the other thing I wanted to say, Sylvia, was I'm so glad that Ingram, uh, basically she took accountability, because, and she was honest. Because think about it, she could have, no one would have known this. No one would have found this out if one of the people she knows was dealing with a deputy or whatever. The public won't know that. So she could have continued with this case, and even though she knew what she was doing was wrong, but she didn't. So I respect her for that, because, you know, we don't need any more corrupt, you know, quote unquote, corrupt judges or doing, you know, and so that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Dom. All right, Cavell, go ahead.
Excuse me. Hey, Sylvia.
Hey, Cavell.
Y'all doing? They be nice to get up here. I ain't got much time. I was smoking my lunch. Eating my lunch, and I wanted to address the lady Jay, but I don't have enough time yet, so I just came up here just to, you know, just speak to you, Sylvia, and tell y'all what's up. AJ, you been asking me, man, to come up here, bro.
I'm
But
glad you came finally.
I do want to say real quick. I do want to say real quick about the environment situation that everybody's talking about. You become your environment and all that. Yes, I agree, but I slightly disagree, because I'm a living witness of that. I come from one of the worst neighborhoods in America, in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I grew up in that. I seen killing, I seen drugs, partook in a lot of stuff, and I got in trouble also. But I was in that environment, but I never became that environment. If that makes sense, because mentally I was always elsewhere and wanted to be other than my environment. I was still in the streets. I went to school, straight A student in high school. Took a break out of high school, did more streets. But I went back to college, still in the streets. But I was still able to know that the streets is not my outcome. That's not where I wanted to be. And I was able to separate and get away from that and not become my environment, even though I grew up in their environment. I partook in everything going on. I still didn't let that environment make who my future was going to be. So, yes, people do become part of their environment, but it's on them mentally if they want to be that environment and succumb to that. It's all about the mentality and the strength of the mind and what do you want in life. And to Lady J, when you were saying all this stuff about, I saw you said they have evidence. They ain't have no evidence. Stop the cap, please. And you were saying all that other stuff about accountability, but you had never not one time said nothing about Woody committing the crimes and saying that he did in the ex parte that he committed the crimes. You never said that he should take those accountability. I understand what you were saying, but I totally disagree with what you were saying. So, you know, that was my little partake on that right now. So I gotta go finish my lunch. I got about minutes.
Covell, I do want to say you are the exception of the norm, because majority, if you go through statistic, most people that are products of an environment usually reacts to their environment. So you're an exception.
Absolutely.
I mean, I reacted. I reacted to a lot of my environment, and I to a lot of people I was my environment because they only seen me. I knew what I wasn't. So
I'm
I
saying
agree
there
with
was something that caused you to want to have something different. And most people could succumb to it because they don't know any better.
Yeah, and I agree, but I always knew that I was going to do something different than that. But it was just more because some people just, I guess in my case, yes, I'm an exception, but I also wanted to be in part of it because I didn't want to be okay. He's the exception. Because I did have times where everybody, oh, you was a nerd and you don't need to be out here doing this and doing that. But I had no other choice because my family and where I was around was the neighborhood. So I had no choice but to get into that. But I also knew that's not where I was going to be. There was going to be a time where something click on me and tell me I got to get away from all this totally. So yes, I may have been an exception,
But
but
if you ever go back to that neighborhood, you see the same people doing the same stuff, right?
yeah. It's like that.
Cavell, can I ask you this, bro, real quick? Did you grow up with a two-parent household?
Yes, I did.
Okay, that's all I want to know.
But I want to say
That
this
makes a
also.
huge difference, bro. It makes a huge difference. I'm telling
But I
you.
also want to say this though. Where I grew up from, none of my cousins, none of my friends in the neighborhood, everybody had two households. They had two-parent households. But a lot of them still, a couple of them in jail doing life, some dead, some still doing the same thing. So that makes a difference. But like I say, some people still succumb to that environment too. So I agree with everything.
Right. Right.
So,
Some people.
but I mean, but the environment within your household, sometimes parents can make a big factor difference in that, because your parents could be one of those type of parents that was teaching y'all about doing better, even though they're in that particular environment, right? And then they might be in a household where the parents let them do whatever they want to do, and that's a different environment. You get what I'm saying? It depends. It's so many different factors that it gets involved for you to be the exception. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree.
Miss Sylvia, thank you for putting that out there because you just took the words right out my head. Because just because an individual is raised in a two-parent household, I know many people in my personal life who were raised in two-parent households and took the road of destruction because nobody knows what actually goes on within the walls of that two-parent household. You might have one parent who's a disciplinarian, the other parent is that parent who's so busy caught up in their life and their lifestyle and what they're doing, they don't give a darn what the children are doing. So always being brought up in a two-parent household is not a denominating factor always. I'm not saying it doesn't play a big part, but it's not always a positive outcome just because someone was raised in a two-parent household. You have kids raised in a two-parent household where either one of the parents are not even active in the child's life. I have a niece going through that right now. She was raised in a two-parent household, but she chose the life of gangs. She chose to be a gang member. And either one of her parents were gang members. So it doesn't always apply.
Let me clarify what
Thank
I'm
you.
trying to say, Sylvia, just briefly. When I say a two-parent household, that I'm not saying that that's just automatic, that you're going to just be a great kid, you're going to be on the right path, this, that, and the other. What I'm saying is, if you, when you were born up until 18, 19, 20, up till 30 or 40, and you still have both parents, what I'm saying is parents, if you have, normal parents that aren't on drugs and all of this kind of thing, I'm talking about normal, hardworking parents, a husband and wife, you're getting both sides of how to be, if you're a girl, how to be a woman. And then you have the man side on how to, what type of man you need to get or whatever. And then it flips with how to be a man and, what type of woman you want to get. But what I'm saying is I think that having two parents, that it helps you with guidance. That's what I'm saying. It help you to go on the right path and
Uh,
set you up. Like, parents are supposed to put you in a good position for you to be successful. You see what I'm saying? That's what normal parents will do. And it doesn't always have to be two parents in the house. I'm just saying, I think it, in his situation, it would have made a huge difference in his life. I can just see. I can tell by the way he talks about his parents and stuff. That's all I
But
was saying.
Can
I
I
can
add
relate.
to this conversation, guys?
Huh?
I
I
agree,
think
Tom.
we're missing an important part. This is the popular nature versus nurture conversation, correct? And
Yes.
we all keep saying, two parent versus one parent. We keep missing the fact that we all eventually become teenagers and we forge our own paths. And the important factor in that path is the friendships.
Okay, what happened, AJ? You gone?
You cut out, AJ.
Did you mute yourself?
Yo, I agree with you, Don, what you were saying. And but yeah, you're also saying that the two parent household, you have an advantage, and I guess you have more of a structure. You know, the boy gonna learn how to be a man under the father, and the girl gonna learn how to be a woman under the mother. Yeah, I understand that. So yeah, I totally agree with you. I'm not in a disagreement with you. But that's it for me, y'all. I'm finna go get back on this clock, and I'm gonna talk to y'all later. Jump back in the chat when I get done.
No doubt, bro.
All right, bro.
Thank you,
Let me
dog.
have some lunch with you, man.
Huh?
Huh?
What'd you say?
All right, bro.
You said something about lunch.
Oh yeah. Oh, you can't. Yeah, you can smoke blunt with me.
Cavell, don't forget about me.
Wait a
Nah,
minute.
Sylvia, I tried in the chat the other day. You talking about? Never mind.
I'm cautious, don't leave me out.
But Tatum, I can relate to you because I was raised in foster care, and there was one teacher who kind of gravitated to me, and I focused on her, and she's the one who helped me not to be a product of my environment.
I agree with you, Miss Sylvia. Like from 4 until 14, I was in foster care, and the reason why I left foster care when I was 14 is because they tried to actually put us in a shelter. Well, they put me in a shelter. I ran away from the shelter because I had a basketball game the next day that I wanted to participate in. So when I got to school, nobody knew that foster care was supposed to pick me up. So when I saw them, I just took off running and I went to go hide under my basketball coach's desk. And then I started to explain to her my situation, which she already knew I was in foster care, but she didn't know that I had ran away from the shelter to come back to school. So when foster care called up with me, she just told them, she said, I'll take her. I don't need no money. I don't need no paperwork. I don't need nothing. I'll take her. And foster care was the state was already a little wobbly because we were being molested from 4 until 14. So with that being, they just dropped me off on the track. My basketball coach got me, and it's been that story ever since. Like, if I could really, like mentally, even at 41 years old today, it still affects my life because it's just, I don't trust it. I just don't trust it. I don't trust anything. The way my brothers were done, the way I was done, mentally, is just everything. And I, to this day, still take care of my real mom, who is now, she has a heart condition. She never took care of me, never was there for me, but I'm her only daughter. So now that's my responsibility to be there for someone who was never there for me. So mentally, I'm telling you, this doesn't stop.
Yeah, yeah.
How do you be there for someone who was never there for you? But every day I suck it up and I do it because she's still my mom.
Yeah.
Sylvia, Daily Loud just posted
Mm-hmm.
and said that Judge Paige Reese Whittaker has now been assigned to the Young Thug case.
We already
I
said
mean,
that.
we knew. I'm just saying, I guess it's official now.
No, it's always official when we got it.
Oh,
Until
okay.
5 o'clock
So what's
tonight.
next? What happens next? I'm late.
Well,
I'm late.
it
What
was
happens
like
next?
she probably was going to be recused because number one, she was Woody's plea attorney. I mean, judge that gave him
A
a plea
bond.
deal, bond, whatever, and then also Steele, Bots, Harvey, all of them gave to her campaign.
Wow. So that's just a straight up conflict of interest.
Yeah, she ain't gonna be here.
Remember,
Wow.
that was what Brian Steele had said to regarding to the other judge, remember? And she
Right.
said,
Also,
Right.
it wasn't there. Then they one of their motions. They wanted to get the prosecution team up out of there, right?
no, yeah, one of the motions, yeah, yes,
To
one of the motions,
remove Love and Hilton.
yeah, one of the motions for that.
I just want to say real quick. This is just okay. I just have to say this. We keep focusing all this attention on Woody and what Woody did, and Woody was a criminal. So are we saying that everybody else that was involved in this so-called sham of a case have lived the perfect lives? Because I was always taught we are a product of our environment. That's just like an analogy I always used to use with my daughter. If you're not using drugs, why are you hanging out in the dope house? If you're not prostituting, why are you running with the prostitutes? So I mean, we keep putting all this focus on Woody as though Woody is the only one. The reason Woody is out there like he is because he is the one that's been thrown in the limelight, because we really have yet to hear anything about the other guys. They haven't been placed on the stand and questioned or anything for us to really see their demeanor or their personalities the way that Woody has been thrown out there. I'm just saying. I mean, I don't think Woody did all of this by himself.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, I was just mentioning about the attorneys given to her, because that was one of the arguments that Steele had on there. So I was just mentioning it. I didn't say there's definitely she's going to be removed, but she may be removed. So
I mean, Sylvia, don't you guys think? I think it's so crazy how the deputy officer was having, a sexual relationship with one of the YSL. I mean, that's just crazy. Think about, like, if that's happening, that's just one person, one situation. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of other stuff that's going on. I have no doubt that, well, for one, I wanted to tell you on one of your lives at the end when you said, do you think, this is like a few weeks ago, do you think Glanville will be recused? Remember, we had all answered that question. I said yes. I was the only one that said yes. I think he's gonna have to, be removed from the case.
Okay,
I wanted to say
right.
that.
Okay, you were
So
right.
yeah, no, I'm just kidding. But what I was saying is I just think that they have to dismiss this case. Period. It's just too much, and it's unfortunate, but it's really on Glanville. Had he not been a biased judge, this wouldn't be happening. We would still be in trial right now. So.
But you guys got to know, let me tell you, Woody, regardless of what y'all think, he owned his mistakes. He owned whatever he has been accused. He owned it, and he's trying to make a difference in his life and in the life of his family. Regardless of what you guys think about him, he has owned whatever it is. And you got to give him kudos because he's trying to make a difference. He's going around telling what. So. And I'm praying for his success. All right. AJ, did you want to say something? Your thing is.
Man, I don't know. My server's kind of nervous, but I forgot what I was saying. I was just talking about the all these judges and how they're gonna keep having to recuse themselves, and eventually this is gonna get, dismissed. Somebody has to step in and dismiss this and stop this nonsense. And these men are at this point being held hostage.
Right. And yeah, I think that has to happen. Just because of just think of all the stuff that's happened. I mean, they've been in trial for a year, basically. And they all just sitting there.
Yep.
I mean, they should have at least had a bond. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if they were just out this whole time. I mean, that would have been ideally,
I mean, we've seen other people have more charges that get a bond. And we know now Euro was had a grudge against these men. So that's why he was rejecting bond from the jump. So hopefully, I don't even want to talk about bond. Just let him go. Because at this point, bond is null and void. Why pay some money to get out just so another judge come dismiss it? Just let me go. You tried. You failed. You know what I'm saying? No run back.
Yeah, now you're right, bro. What I don't understand is, everybody makes mistakes in their life, and I've been a Young Thug fan since 2011, 2012. And I met him when he had his, he used to have platinum blonde hair when he was first getting started. And I knew, okay, one of his so Duke, YSL Duke, was friends with one of my homies. And so that's how I was able to meet Young Thug. And, of course, that doesn't mean you know him. I don't know him. I'm saying I've been a fan of his music, since early on. And everybody makes mistakes. And even I'll say this still is Lil Baby, the rapper, and we all know, how big of an artist he is now.
Lil Baby would have not been on the
He would
record if
not
it
be
wasn't
where
for
he's at
Thug.
right now. He
Yeah.
probably would have still been in the streets or in jail or dead. He literally, Young Thug, when Lil Baby was in the streets, in and out of jail, Young Thug literally said, bro, I will give you, and this is before Baby was rapping. He said, I will give you, I believe it was 35,000. He said, I'll give you this 35,000 because that's how much Baby was making, I guess, in the streets. So Thug paid him. He said, get out the streets, come into the studio. And he kept him in his studio. And look, so what my point is this, bro, is that people keep saying, oh, Young Thug was this and that. He changed his life around, and of course, we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. I'm saying, it seems like he changed his life, when he was younger and didn't have the opportunities, the resources. Yeah, he was in the streets, but people make mistakes. And like Sylvie was saying, you're a product of your environment and it's not to your fault.
I respectfully,
it's just,
can I say something? I respectfully
yeah,
disagree with that. I don't think we're a product of our environments because people come from very bad environments and they flourish. So to say that just because you're from X, Y, and Z, or you know what I'm saying, you would
that
amount to this.
no, I get you. What I'm saying is if they were to look up the statistics, right? I'm not saying 10 out of 10 will turn to the streets or turn to something bad. I'm saying out of that, it's probably 5 out of 10, who would turn to wrong out of the product of their environment. And then the
But
other 5 would do the right thing.
with
So
the
what I'm saying, it's a
facts,
high percentage. That's what I'm
right?
saying.
I get you. But with the facts from all the witnesses we've had, from the DKs, the Ticks, the Beans, everyone has said, even from their words, when they got in trouble, Thug would kick them off tour. Thug would disassociate himself with those guys. So, if anything,
Right.
the state has shown in their presentation thus far from their witnesses that Young Thug is innocent from their
Yep.
words,
I
from
agree.
their witnesses.
I agree.
So, even if this case was to go on, they was headed to a not guilty verdict from the way the jury was not attentive anymore to the back and forth to the constant comfort breaks. It was headed to a not guilty. We just shortened it up right now.
Thank you so much, Miss Sylvia, for allowing me to speak on your platform. I'm new to, I just found you recently, and I just want to thank you before I leave out.
You are welcome. Anybody else have anything to say?
I
Well,
want to say that I enjoy a very spirited, debate when we're learning. You know what I'm saying, Sylvia? And I appreciate you for having this platform to let everybody, you know what I'm saying, come up here and learn and speak their minds and their opinions. You know what I'm saying?
And that, you gotta also remember, every single one of us come from a different environment, different background, and no one's better than the next person. So that's why I listen to everyone. And I know a lot of people was disagreeing with that young lady, but she is coming from her personal experience, y'all. Her personal experience.
Right. I mean, we can disagree. There's no problem with that. It's just I would rather your argument be fact based and not opinion based.
yeah, no, and that's what to your point, AJ, I think it is good to that's how um hard topics, or how should I put it? That's how things are actually changed, is by having a dialogue. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like even with racism or something, whatever it is, the topic is, it's like uncomfortable conversations have to happen in order to
Yeah,
to move forward. You know what I'm saying?
definitely. You have to have that's with every aspect of life, even relationships.
Exactly.
You have to have those uncomfortable conversations in order to get progress. But if that uncomfortable conversation starts to go down the I think path, then we can't argue feelings. We'll be here all day.
But sometimes feelings come from personal experiences, and we
You're right.
cannot neglect when someone else's background saying that they're wrong, but that's all they know.
Yeah. No, let me and then I wanted to clear that up. So Sylvia, I said 35,000 because people they're gonna try to clear it up. Someone would clarified in the chat that it was actually 10,000,
Yeah,
and I believe it was 10,000 a week, or it was 10,000 every time he came to the studio. I want to say it was per week.
Hold on.
Everybody here from Atlanta is pretty, averse to that story, and how Jeff has been a beacon of light to a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, in these streets.
Xavier, it's been a long time. What happened to you the other day?
Oh, I ended up getting stuck at work and I run heavy equipment. So, I mean, it was just too loud. Just like the guy that was counting pans back there.
Yeah, buddy was cussing in the kitchen.
So I wasn't able to get back on. I didn't want to be that guy and have, tractors and jackhammers and stuff running. But today I'm painting, so it's a little bit quiet over here. So I had to call in because I'm getting kind of tired by myself.
Okay. So
Hey, so I do got a question. I'm not from Atlanta. Yep. So let's put the young thug to the side. As being a fan or knowing them or whatever the case may be. Just you guys, even in the chat, um, you guys being there as residents, are you guys going to allow the state to go and waste millions of your guys' dollars again when they can put that money into football fields, soccer fields, baseball fields? Something.
Homelessness, mental health.
Allow is a strong word, as if we can just be like, no, we
Well,
can
no,
we
but
can
you guys
vote.
could go and do. Yeah, there you
We can
go. That's well. I'm not saying allow. It's not like you guys could, like you just said. You can't go there and say no.
Protest.
Yeah.
Protest. Never mind.
Oh shit! I got a phone call. Yeah, that's just me. If it was my state, if I lived there, I think I would have to say, hey, are we really going to allow the state to go and waste millions of dollars again? If it
Well,
was my state,
I think
I
that
would try
they've
to, hey,
seen
no.
that. I think they've seen that.
Yeah, I think with Sylvia's help, the world, the nation has seen the huge waste of money that the city has done, and I don't think they'll try that again. Especially with the eyes of the world is going to be back on here, so I don't.
Okay, so with that being said, well, do you think the state is really going to push to be able to keep this case going where it's at? Because you got to think, you got to get all them same people back in there. You got to question them. All them guys. None of those guys are going to work for free, especially the ones that are retired.
I think the buck is going to stop with the city's DA, and if she still has a hard on for Mr. Jeffrey, then there's your answer.
Wow, Sylvia. So someone just said in the chat that the new Judge Whitaker, recently went against 4 Fulton County DAs, district attorneys, motion to freeze a new law that allows district attorneys to be disciplined.
Yeah, but we already established that Whitaker probably will recuse herself due to her conflict.
Remember, she used to be a DA.
I mean, if you got to jump through these many hoops, the universe is telling you to drop the case. So
Right.
maybe you should listen to the universe.
Right. Marcy, that should not matter. You know what I'm saying? She said that no one on the panel is a lawyer. That doesn't matter to point out the obvious, to read the facts,
I
to
passed
see
my
the
bar
facts.
exam. I don't care what she talking about.
Yeah, so
we are all
that
here.
doesn't matter.
Our opinion. It's opinion.
Exactly.
Voices.
Having a conversation.
And even lawyers sometimes don't know what they're talking about if they're not in that particular area of law. All right, Miss Bobbitt. Hello.
Hi, Miss Sylvia. First, I just want to say I just found you recently, of course, because I'm glued to this case like white on rice. But I just want to commend you for how you stay neutral. That's something not many people could do, and how you show so much support to Woody, especially because everyone seems to be attacking him and oh he had choices and he could have chose better and this and that, but to go back to the whole conversation on schools and communities and environments. I work in an elementary school. I live in New York. I work in an elementary school, and I see how they refer, and I work in a special education department. So I see how they refer our children, our black and brown children, for the littlest things, for being hyperactive, getting out of their seats, or not knowing their colors by a certain age. They just label them. And I look at Woody, and I'm just like, again, people say you can't be a product of your environment because some people turn out good. And that's because, like that scripture says, train up a child in the way they should go. Someone in that child's life had instilled something in them, even if it was the smallest thing. And that stayed with them, and it directs them to go in a good path. I look at Woody, and I don't see that he had that, but it's something still in his heart, because if you look at him now, he wants to do better. He just doesn't have the guidance, and now everyone is starting to surround him, and I just pray that people surround him and have good intentions and not want to ride his coattail.
I think Woody has found a new stream of revenue, and he's going to enjoy it because and thus far, from him talking and being the genuine person that he is, he's doing okay on the internet. If he want to play on the internet, I'd rather him play on the internet than on somebody's streets.
Well, yeah, but in today's world, you kind of have to be on, social media, and it's hard to not be on that, And I told, just like I told Kayla, I said, yo, you were in the spotlight for that particular moment, and who wouldn't seize the opportunity? You know what I'm saying? If anybody could do that, in Woody's situation, started the little channel, and now he's able to get interviews and whatnot. And I don't know this to be true, but he probably is making a little money legally. You know what I'm saying? So I can't be mad at that, because I think 9 out of 10 people would do the same exact thing, given that being in that position, so. And for those of you who are just coming in new, hit the like button and please donate to Miss Sylvia's Cash App for all the hard work she's putting in, because she's been covering this case from day one. It's hard work.
Well, I was going to say I agree, there probably aren't a bunch of attorneys up in here, but take somebody like Miss Sylvia, who's made it her passion too. She loves law. So look what she does. You don't have to go to school to understand law if you study law. I know some of the baddest people in law who have come out of the prison system. I had a friend who did 32 years in prison, and right to this day, he makes money sitting in his home helping people with their legal documents, showing them case laws and all kinds of stuff because he chose to educate himself in law while he was in prison. So you don't have to be an attorney to know law.
Absolutely. I agree with that one. Hey, Emmanuel, welcome. Come on. What would you like to say, Emmanuel?
Oh, what I would like to say is, so the reason why this judge got recused because of what one of the defendants had a relationship? Is that,
You're late, Emmanuel. We
I
talking
know
about
I am. That's why I'm asking.
no, not because of the relationship, because the young lady got arrested, and that young lady was a deputy in her court, so she is going to be called as a witness in that case.
Oh, okay.
hmm
And so there's hasn't been another judge reassigned yet. Nothing.
Yes, a new
Yes.
judge has been reassigned. Judge Whitaker has been reassigned.
And he's in Fulton County, I guess.
She's in
Oh,
Fulton
she.
County.
And does anybody know her background?
Well, it looks like she probably going to recuse herself as well because there's other things that she has with conflict.
So my next question is, do y'all guys think with all these Fulton County judges recusing themselves, do you guys think is gonna get moved over to the next county?
Don't have a
I
clue.
personally think, yeah, we don't know, but I personally think it either that or it's gonna get dismissed. That's just me.
Yeah, because at this point they might as well just dismiss this thing.
Because in Georgia, what I believe it was Kayla or Melnick, I can't remember which attorney had said this, but they said that in the state of Georgia, in the middle of a trial, if the judge, is recused, another judge can be reassigned and can step in and continue the trial right then and there. You see what I'm saying? And so now, but we've been out of court for what, a month now? Think
Yeah.
about the jurors at home. They have to be, who doesn't use their phone? They got to be seeing all of this stuff. And then not only that, so much time is getting away. And then when the new judge comes, if that happens, the new judge has to catch up on everything, just to kind of see what the case is and catch up on all the facts and the documentation, all that. That's a lot. And so, I personally think that what was your question again? I can't remember. I'm sorry.
Oh, my question was.
Hold on, y'all. I got Mr. Jeff. Hold on.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Sylvia, if he's coming on.
What you said, Mr. Jeff?
So they need to get legit stuff go, man, because they're really making themselves look more worse than good.
Okay, so you think any other judge is going to take over now?
I don't think no other judge is going to take this case.
All right, y'all. Y'all heard me. They don't think no other judge is going to take this case. So what do
And
you
one
think?
of the attorneys on another one of the law shows yesterday stated that the only way the dynamics of the jury would change, the case would have to be removed to a whole different county.
So do you think it's going to be moved to another county, Mr. Williams? No. Okay.
I don't see another county wanting to even deal with it. I wouldn't. I mean, if I was in charge of my county, I wouldn't want to deal with this case. As far as it's went already, what judge wants to put up 3 years of their time when they could just do their basic job that they're doing now in their county?
Right. And there's so many moving parts to
Oh
this
man,
case. It's not just one person with two charges. It's like, 6, 7 defendants with all these different charges. It's just so, and then of course, all of the issues that have
Mr.
happened.
Jeff is talking.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. What were you saying, sir?
That's not true. It's not true. Hello?
Yeah, they're listening.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me? They're listening.
Now, what I was saying, what he's saying, I'm not saying what he's saying is not true as far as what he's saying. I'm saying it's more defendants on this case than just those 7.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. No, I know that. What I'm saying is the ones that are actually being tried right now in this particular trial. Now, I know the initial indictment was like 40, 50 people.
No,
I was talking about
28. It was 29.
Sylvia, you know what I'm saying? I don't know the exact number. What I'm saying, I know there was a lot more compared to the ones that are actually in the courtroom being tried.
No, what I'm saying is you still have to include the other guys that were separate also.
You have to include the other guy that was severed, he said.
Yeah, they still include them as well.
Your phone is breaking up. Your phone is breaking up.
You know, they have plea deals.
Your phone is breaking up.
Well, it might be because of where I'm at.
Okay, now we can hear you better. Now, what were you saying?
I said because those other guys refused their plea deals, so you still have to include them in that. So it's more than just them. All of them have to meet up at trial. You know what I'm saying? You know, so it's gonna be ridiculous, man.
You're in a bad spot again.
They need to just take it and be done with it and deal with the outcome.
Okay. He said they just need to what? What would you say? What did you say again?
I said they need to just take their lick. Just take their lick. Be done with this case, man, and just deal with the outcome.
Take their lick. Okay, deal with the outcome.
That's it. Because you know, at this point, man, you know, the whole world know that this is an unfair case. This case has never even been put in effect. That's really. So just make it light on yourself, man. And take the pressure off. You know, community passing that book now. Because you're trying to put people in a situation.
You're in a bad spot. I can't really hear you at all.
Well, I'll just try to call you back.
Okay. All right. All right, guys. Go ahead.
I remember when Mr. Jeffrey, when Big Jeffrey was talking about this in the beginning before this all started.
Yep.
Like he already said it wasn't going to go far. He said verbatim wasn't going to go far. I remember that, and he was true to his word. Look where we at.
All you gotta do is go back and listen to his first interview.
Exactly. Everybody, I encourage you to go back and listen to Big Jeffrey's first interview. You're gonna get all of what you need there. Trust me, you will.
Yeah, he in a bad spot, y'all. And then he still got his little chirping fire alarm.
No, Sylvia, I called it a Obama phone. Nah, I'm playing with you, Big Jeff.
He's off.
But nah, I see what he's saying. I don't know that I wasn't meaning the specific number of, defendants and all that. I was just saying that there was, it was a lot larger, the number that were actually indicted compared to now that are actually in the trial,
Thank you for the Cash App, Joy. Thank you. Joy just gave me a Cash App, y'all. Thanks, Joy.
How many likes do you have, so?
Let's see. I don't know. I gotta go back and look.
Yeah, get these likes up, people, because
we got a lot of people watching. We got to get, over 50% like.
Yeah,
come on, y'all. It's free.
Yeah, Miss Sylvia is doing her thing. She is doing her thing.
$675 likes. Okay, and then how many people was in the chat?
We had about 1,200 at one point. The highest we had 1,200.
Right. Well, right this second. Right this second. How many does it say?
We only got 569 right now.
It should have been 1,200 likes when 1,200 people came in the chat.
1,200 people in here.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, well, so I guess so Sylvia, what is have you heard anything as far as
no, Billy?
The timeline on this?
No, because they don't. Everything's not situated yet, so we don't know.
Okay. Now, has judge, the new judge, actually been assigned on paperwork?
Yeah, that's where we're getting it from.
Oh, okay. So yeah, look, I guess probably within the next week, I would say something will happen.
And if she stays on, she might decide to get off like Judge Ingram did. He said
Interesting.
he just said that he does not think what? Why is somebody in here saying Judge Glanville? Why you have his name in here? That is not Judge Glanville. Stop that.
It sure isn't.
Come
Who's
on now.
doing that?
Stop
Yeah,
that.
get them off of there.
Come on, y'all gotta stop that. That's false.
Yeah, one strike, you're out.
Y'all
We're
think
not
it's
playing games.
you are not Judge Glanville. You got to stop that because that's false impersonation of somebody.
Please, people, stop trolling. Please.
That is not Judge Glanville. That is not Judge Glanville. I promise you that.
Yeah, but you know, people be on here trolling.
I know
You know,
that's Judge not Judge Glanville.
They
of
want
course not.
attention. Emmanuel's gonna give you attention. I'm gonna
It's
give you
not
attention.
Judge Glanville.
You want attention? I'm gonna give you attention.
That I know for a fact.
Cavell, right? That's what I call him too. But I'm not gonna do that.
Oh, I guess they're saying he said Grantville, Glanville, whatever they tried to do. They thought they were funny. No, God, no, sir, ma'am, you're not funny.
They got Glanville picture on there. That's what makes
Yeah,
that's
find
what
another occupation. You're not funny. It's not a joke.
makes it bad because they have his picture on
Yeah,
there.
you're not. It's not funny. Try again. I'm the feisty one.
I personally would just block it and keep it pushing.
Yeah, I'm the feisty
They
one.
just want some attention. That's all.
Block them mods. Get rid of them. They're using the judge's picture.
Yes. So Sylvia, have you? I know. For one, I wanted to say that interview with you did with Adams, super dope. You know, because he's one of my favorites too. You know, out of all of the attorneys. Really though, like when you think about it, all of the defendants that are in the actual trial, they all have great attorneys. Like real talk, all of those attorneys bring like a uniqueness. You know what I'm saying? Like when you just listen to them, bring their perspective or on the law or just their take on certain things. I mean, we've seen Weinstein give interviews, Adams, Sharp. Only we haven't seen Steele, you know, but you know, I think it's super dope that they have attorneys that actually care for them. You know, of course they're being paid and whatnot, but still, I feel like a lot of times attorneys, you know, are just like I'm not gonna say a lot of times. I'll say some attorneys, you know, don't seem to actually genuinely care for their client. And in this situation, I can tell that they all really care about their clients, you know, and they're exposing the illegal stuff that you know Fulton County is doing. And I know people want to say, oh, well, what about the you know the alleged victims' families and this and that? Hey, and that's why we have constitutional rights, and it has to go through the court of law. And if just like with the Baldwin thing, people are so upset that you know his case was dismissed, but whose fault is that? The prosecutors by not turning over the evidence, you know, to the defense. And so by law, they have to drop the case and they can never try him again. So that's nobody's fault but theirs. And so my point being is that they have to follow the law. And a lot of times, if we're not, you know, if we don't have a spotlight on us or don't have money, a lot of times it'll just get overshadowed. You know what I'm saying? But I'm really thankful for this because, of course, I'm not thankful that Young Thug and them are in jail, but I'm thankful that Young Thug is him and his attorneys and the whole trial. They're able to expose the illegal stuff that's going on on a worldwide national stage. And I think that especially for Fulton County, it's going to make a huge difference moving forward. I personally feel for all trials. I mean, what do you think, Sylvia?
Say it again.
I agree. I
You're not
agree
even paying
totally.
attention.
No,
I
I'm
agree
just
totally.
watching this comment. These people said, but says, will we allow people to get on here on serious platform and give false information? Can we keep the logic consistent if that's the case? What are you talking about?
Yeah, what are you talking about? Explain
I
yourself.
wouldn't even pay attention to that. But what I was saying,
Explain
Sylvia,
yourself.
is that I'm thankful that what I was saying was I'm thankful that Young Thug was able to, I guess you could say, in your terms, he's being used as a vessel. You see what I'm saying? To show the illegal stuff that's going on in Fulton County in particular. So I personally feel moving forward that anybody who ends up in criminal court in Fulton County, I think they are going to have they're going to have a fair trial. Well, attempt to, because of all of this that's happening. So now I think they have no they have no choice but to follow everything by the book as far as judges, the legal system, the justice system, And so I said, what do you think? Do you think that moving forward, Fulton County will be doing things correctly because of this case?
Not sure. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know.
Just imagine, not just within Fulton County, but just um, worldwide, how many prosecutions are actually dirty, and this one just got exposed. I'm pretty sure they've been dirty for a long time in Fulton County. Just they got caught. Imagine how many people have been locked up behind dirty prosecutions, and because, like you said, they didn't have the money, so they just went with it.
Dummy talk. Yeah, I'm not trying to harp on that, but yeah, this is people's lives on the line. Like, that's serious. And I get it. Sometimes you got to joke with the little fake names and all that, but to make that kind of fake name, I don't think that's funny when people. I mean, they facing life. That's to me. That's just my opinion, but.
Well, they're making a big deal about the person using false information on a
Right,
judge.
and these are African American men that are facing.
Not cool.
We should have a little fun. You shouldn't be so serious all the time. Have a little fun with it, this, that, and the other. But I'm like, I don't think that this is the topic to joke about. That's just me.
Yeah, these are African American men that are facing life. These are no regular Joe blows.
No, get rid of some of these comments that's coming in here. I see people going to come in and start the ignorant stuff.
Yeah, and it doesn't need to be. Just state your opinion without being disrespectful. We're talking about serious matters here. It's okay. I mean, people can agree to disagree. It's okay.
And Charlie, you're right. I do think we need a break because folks are coming in here acting crazy now. They come in here acting crazy now. So yeah, listen, I said before, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I don't need to come after her. I don't need to come after Lady J like that.
Hey, Sylvia, a lot of people some people are saying they don't know who the judge is.
I put it up. Y'all don't. Y'all probably need to go back a few minutes
Scroll
and
back, yeah.
go back because I did put it up and I took it down.
Absolutely, Sunday. It is sad. It's sad all around.
Wins, you're probably right. Definitely. Wins. They're coming in here trying to troll now. No, we're not gonna go anywhere. We're about to get off because we've been on here 3 hours. Anybody has any last?
Yeah, I'm out to Sylvia, I'm about to go take my comfort break, and thanks for having me, and y'all have a good day.
Me too. Me too.
All right. All right, y'all. I'm about to get off this live, guys. I thank you for your opinion, Miss J. You cool with me? You are entitled to what you believe because it's based on your experience. You guys got to stop trying to bully folks because they think different from you. And I understand some of you guys are very passionate about your stance, but let another person give their opinion and their feelings because it's valid for their based on their experience. So not cool, y'all. It's not cool to attack somebody because they think differently from you. But in the meantime, you guys have a great, great afternoon. If anything comes up, I will bring it back to y'all. You guys, I will bring it back to you guys. You guys have a great afternoon.
You too, Sylvia. You
Okay.
too.
All right. So guys, again, we all have voices. We all have opinion. We all have our own personal experiences. And we all just looking at this case and giving it based on our personal. You know what, Emmanuel, you still on here making noise. Let me take you off. Okay, I had to remove Annual because I kept. Next, I'll be hearing pots and pan. Pots and pan. New York. Yeah, I'm from New York. New York. Okay. What was I saying? But guys, you got to also remember, listen, we are all here just giving our points of view, our personal experience, and giving our background. Everyone has a voice on this channel. Okay, I let people speak as long as they can and want to, but I just want you guys to be respectful of other people's opinion. You get what I'm saying? Be respectful. You know, we don't have to agree, but we got to respect one another's differences. Okay? Only I could go off on folks, not y'all. Okay? I'm just joking. But anyway, if I find anything, stop holding these men at this point. It's kidnapping. Fonnie needs to let them go home. Reaper, I agree. Opinion goes both ways. Yes, Shelly, you're right. Opinions goes both ways. We all have them. And we all needs to just respect folks' opinion. Okay? All she wanted was attention. Yes, we all do. Uninformed opinion is not it. Well, that's why we educate. That's why we educate. If somebody's not informed, you educate. You get what I'm saying? We educate. We let them know what some of the stuff that we know. Okay? But it doesn't make them it doesn't make it right for you to make them feel wrong. Where's my girl at? Kay, you want to come in and pray? Kay, you want to come in and pray? Oh, my leg is hurting. Pure misinformation is wrong, but a joke is, I guess, more wrong. I get it. Y'all. It's not a joke when it's a judge's picture. It's not a joke. You know that's false. False misrepresentation. Do you know that's what is considered misrepresentation? If you have somebody else's ID on your picture on your ID, you know that you can go to jail for that kind of stuff. Why use his picture and say the name like that? You know what you're doing. Giving misinformation based on your perception and your experience is not an issue, is not a crime. But if you know better, okay, where are you? Is it Kay that usually do our prayer? Kay sitting there talking. Ma'am, Kay. Okay, Antonio say your prayer. Come on, Antonio. Antonio, come on. Because Kay is in the chat, chit-chatting. Who deleted your chat? I don't see your chat deleted. Hold on. Why are you calling if you're in the chat? Why are you calling if you're in the chat? I see your message. So how are you saying you've been deleted? 444 smile. Oh, she's at the airport. I see it. What's the name said he's coming in? Antonio said he's coming in. I see it now. Thank you. Thank you. All right, Antonio.
Okay.
Hey, Antonio.
How you doing, Miss Sylvia? Nice to meet you.
Good. It's nice to meet you too. Thank you for offering to pray for us.
That's no problem, no problem. Father God, we just thank you for this opportunity and this time, Father, that we all have together. Lord, we just thank you for Miss Sylvia, oh God, and you using her as a willing vessel, God, to be a chosen vessel that's willing to be used by you, Father God, to bring light into a dark situation, Father. Father, we just ask right now in the name of Jesus that you continue to bless her, keep your angels encamped around her and her home. As she goes to and fro her destination, Father, we thank you for your angels being encamped around her. Father, we pray for each and every individual that's associated with this case today, Father. We ask right now, God, that your mercy and your grace be applied. We ask right now, Father God, that you continue to lead and guide the lawyers and that all truth come out and prevail over every lie, Father. For we know that lying is of the devil, God, but we know that you are the Father of truth. So, Father, we thank you right now. And I pray for everybody on this chat, on this platform that has came and gave their outlook on things. Father, we pray if anyone left, oh God, offended, Father, we ask that, God, you will soften the hearts of those that may have did the offense, oh God, to just reach out with a tender touch or a word, Father God, to let that person know that it was no harm, no foul. But Father, we just want to thank you once again, and we just ask that you continue to elevate Sylvia and on this platform, and we'll be forever so careful to give your name the praise and the glory. It's in your Son Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. And amen. Antonio, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Now you know you're going to be stuck with me now with this, right?
Yes, ma'am. I don't mind, Miss Sylvia. I love that.
Amen. Are you a pastor?
I'm a minister.
Ah, I knew it.
I don't like to use the semantics because your semantics sometimes will drive people away when they dealing with their life situations. They want to hear about your Jesus, but sometimes they want to know
and get help for the solutions for their problems. So I try to, lead the semantics out of it and just be Antonio. You know what I mean?
Okay, because you sound like a preacher.
Been raised in it all my life. Yeah.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much again. I appreciate you.
I look forward to coming back on your channel, Miss Sylvia.
Okay, thank you. All right, everybody, we're about to get off, and if anything comes up, I will come back. I will come back and give you an update. So stay tuned and be ready to hear if anything comes out. Talk to you guys later. Love y'all. Bye.